Recording. All right, we're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back to Black Medium. Here, it's been a long ass hiatus. I blame George.
What the fuck? What the
Exactly.
hell?
He took responsibility. Good job. All right.
Nah, we ain't doing that. I've been telling you, I've been giving you ideas for months on what to do for your podcast, but you ain't even been
still talking.
Nah. I've been holding you accountable.
Okay. Anyways, I'm the host, Gold Will, and as always, my co-host,
Electronic Jack, aka Limwood Storm, aka the Mac with the facts from Black Grindhouse.
He always does that. And then we have a guest today. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
My name is Duran Flood. I'm in Norfolk, Virginia, entrepreneur. I own a gym in Norfolk, Virginia, and I'm a part-time nerd, I guess.
Part-time nerd? Fucking unofficial. Look at this guy.
At least he didn't call himself a blurred. Then again, he owns Blurred Core. Don't get me started on that term. I do not like the term blurred. At least for me, I don't like being referred to as a blurred because I feel like I'm being put in the box. What is the difference between blurred and I don't like to be put. I am not a. Black people are not a monolith.
My hands are up. I did not say this. We didn't even talk about this in the test call.
I already wrote the article. I wrote an article about it. But on some real shit, I don't got a problem with it. I'm just saying, I don't even like being called a nerd. Because what is a nerd?
Okay, that makes sense. Like, I thought you had a problem with like the black nerd part.
Oh no, I got a problem with that too. Don't get me wrong. I got a problem with that too. But the reason why I have a problem with it is because I feel like blurred is still nerd, but black nerd.
That's what blurred is. Yes, that's what it means.
Then why can't we call ourselves nerd? It's like me calling myself African American. Why can't I just be nerd? Okay, I'm trolling right now.
I see you're trolling, but don't worry. he's got the all right. Well, that reaction just says it all, doesn't it? All right. So yes, Duran also runs a nerd group on Facebook, Blurred Core. You should check it out. There's a lot of dank memes in there.
We're more than just memes. Don't disrespect my core group, okay, sir?
Dank memes, mail calls.
Do you allow black folks in your group to say nigga?
No.
I Thank you. I just hate that word. I hate it. Gold Will and I actually had a disagreement on it. See, I don't like saying that word. I don't like people saying that word to me, and I definitely don't like white folks feeling comfortable enough to say nigga. I don't care how you say it. I don't care what the meaning is behind it. I just don't like it. Same thing goes with dog or thug or I just for me it's like
thug's kind of incendiary. I would definitely have a problem with that one.
Right.
Well, people used to call them
like I don't have a problem with it. Me myself, I don't use the word at all. But like if it becomes excessive, then I'll be like, listen, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you gotta chill, bro, or sis or whatever. Like I'm big on respecting black people, no matter how they view themselves. And like ideally, I wanted to create a space where we can be ourselves without being identified with just anything. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as you black, you one of us. You know what I mean?
Respected. I've actually been working on trying to wean the word out of my dictionary, my vocabulary, but at the same time.
Yeah, but okay, but here's another.
He's dead. I didn't kick him. My hands are here. All right, so we'll just. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about professional coons, creation, consequence, and solutions. And we're going to be talking about basically black people who are in the public square with a platform that use their platform more or less to denigrate their fellow black folks, possibly for capital gain. And look who's back. Okay. Anyways, possibly for capital gain and possibly just because they feel like doing it. I don't even know what the
I
point of
cannot
that
see
is.
Flood's camera.
We can't see yours. Okay, now we can see.
Okay, how about now? Okay, now I can see all your cameras. Okay, so
Okay.
what I was saying, wait, were you guys having a
Yeah,
conversation?
we already.
Okay, because
we already
I
did.
cut out and you got.
Yeah,
I
already
don't
did
even
the-
know what I was saying. What was I saying?
You were saying something about.
Oh yeah, I don't have a problem with the word being said.
Oh no.
Ironically, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, but yeah, I already introduced it. I already introduced the topic. So what we're going to be doing is professional coons, creation, consequence, and solutions. We had already had a conversation about this yesterday privately, so we're just going to basically,
It was a good conversation too. Like I was
It
really
was.
engaged in that conversation.
Right. So yeah, now we're going to just have open. So basically, let's go ahead and start it off. So first question, the first basically like icebreaker for this. What do we define as cooning? Who you want to go first? Ron, I'd say you the guest, so go ahead. And what do you define as cooning?
All right, so like ideally, I think that all Black people want progress, right? Like progress within, like introspectively, within the community, whether it's economic progress, whether it's social progress, it doesn't matter. So like cooning, for me personally, it's more like regressive behavior. So like yeah, that's what I would define it, like regressive social behavior. Regressive social behavior would be my definition of cooning. And I can give a multitude of examples and people, but that would be my definition.
Okay, gotcha. George, go ahead. What do you consider
Sucking
cooning?
white dick and kissing white people's asses, basically. If your intention is behind a certain behavior or action is to say, "Hey, white people, accept me. I'm one of you, even though I'm
Definitely.
inward with the hard R."
Right.
That's for me. That's cooning because I can agree to disagree to certain opinions and viewpoints, but when you're actively trying to disparage the plight of Black folks or political gain in favor of white people, then we have a problem here because
Right.
that's destructive.
Right.
And you're using a platform like we look at white supremacy. Like white supremacy, white supremacy maintains media as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're using the platforms that they're given to you, and you know that those platforms are widespread. So
Right.
the influence that you have, it's affecting the Black community. That's what I consider cooning. If you say, "Hey, I believe that Black people should do this more, do that more," and white people take your words and twist it, well, I'm not going to blame you for it, but I'm going to say, hey, you should choose your words more carefully, or perhaps you shouldn't say it in this arena. Much like how Killer Mike was speaking to the NRA about gun ownership, and
Right. Okay, I'll go with my definition of cooning. I see cooning very straightforward as actively antagonizing Black people or people of color for the favor or the clout, or in worst cases, something I'll bring up later and something we had spoken about in our private conversations, power, which becomes a problem. And it's why I see certain individuals that I particularly disdain as more than just peculiar anomalies and something that must actively be fought against in order to I can't really orate to prevent a problem. Let's just say that it prevent problems both within our community and in representation to other communities as well. That's how I would define cooning.
That's a good point.
And the thing is, a lot of these what I would call professional coons, they're out there with their platform, and they will use that platform as a means to represent the opinion of Black folks, which is why I think they're so dangerous. And segue into one of the more prominent professional coons, one that I particularly disdain, Candace Owens. Now, when we are talking in our private conversation, I said Candace Owens is particularly dangerous because she's really intelligent and she's a good orator. She uses those abilities to such problematic effect that she's already been mentioned in a terrorist manifesto. If you know about the Christchurch shooting in New Zealand, he definitely name dropped Candace Owens. And what Candace Owens did, basically brushed it off. Didn't even find any problems in what she says and what she puts out into the universe. And this type of destructive behavior, mind you, Candace Owens is just some nerd on the internet, essentially. She's just somebody who speaks loudly through Twitter and whatnot. And she's already been dropped in a manifesto for a shooting. That's the thing. If Candace Owens were to secure some power because somebody likes the way she speaks so well. If she gets city council or some shit, how much hell will she start raising for people in other communities based on how she acts towards her own?
Yeah, and I think that's where when I chimed in, I said that I believe I said something along the lines of there are going to be checks and balances from the white people that she's taking, rather the overseers above her.
Yeah, but if those overseers decide they like what she's doing, like for instance, we talked about David Clark, Sheriff Clark.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Sheriff Clark was reprimanded for his actions. And everybody turned
strong disapproval. Still sheriff.
Like I said, Trump didn't even want him a part of his gang. So
he's still sheriff.
Okay, now you're frozen.
Oh yeah, I'm frozen. Am I frozen?
Okay, now you're good. Now you're good. Okay. Now you're good. It's my connection. So
yeah.
Go on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's still sheriff.
Right.
He's still Sheriff Clark, even if he's
but he's not going to get any higher than that. I highly doubt
pretty
that
high.
Didn't he try to run for mayor? That didn't work out for him.
I mean, he's still the sheriff. That's still
right. He's still in a position
All it takes is a bullet.
All right.
Shit. But I mean, you're not wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
But on a serious note, he still has
it's a serious note. He can still be touched. Someone at a certain level,
But the counterpoint is they haven't checked him. Oh, he's dead. Okay. Well, anyways, while we're waiting.
You guys don't need to do another podcast until he gets his shit together. I love what you guys got going on, and I'm embarrassed right now.
Look, man. All right. This usually doesn't happen with Skype, but I don't know what it is. Like, I guess he has to connect to Wi-Fi and Zoom. He doesn't have very good setup. He's gonna hear this in the recording. George,
good.
George, look at me. Look at the camera. Ready? This is your intervention. Get an Ethernet cable. All right, and upgrade that computer. All right, it's only like $500. You can get yourself a decent computer. Please. America needs you. All right.
Black America.
All right. Whew. Black America. Black America. Not. All right. Anyways, back to what we were doing. Okay. So yeah, Sheriff Clark. Go ahead. I mean, what do you thoughts on Sheriff Clark? And he's like, whoa.
Right, and I agree with you. He's still sheriff, and I mean, he's in a position of power. He's in a position where he can influence the people below him. Mm-hmm. He has a big platform. Like, you can't. I mean, even if he's been reprimanded by people over top of him, it wasn't like they fired him.
Exactly. I don't think reprimand. Like, ooh, you made a strong. Right. Like, it's like when they censured Trump. Whew, oh shit. Right.
He's still the president.
Exactly. Like, what did that do? Like, that doesn't mean anything. It's just a symbolic nonsense gesture that there needs to be action taken against him. I mean, people are in danger in his jails. Not like jail is a nice place. I mean, I'm pretty sure the food sucks. But, I mean, in general, they're in danger when they go to his jails. A lot of people wound up dead.
Right. And I mean, just having somebody like that, because we all understand institutional racism when it comes to mass incarceration and stuff like that. But if you have somebody like him validating those things, I mean, it becomes increasingly more dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because now white supremacy has a pawn that looks like us to help legitimize and empower that systematic racism. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So you can't call us racist because we have black people in the positions to do the dirty work. So if anybody's racist, there's it's him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, ugh.
Yeah, that's like a serious problem, which is why I am so out there about people like Candace Owens, and that's why I'm so out there about David Clark. And more recently, wow, Brandon Tatum. That was not fun. I'll be honest. I actually flushed out most of that information I absorbed today from this guy. It was actually unpleasant. But the main thing about it is his Blexit movement. What I'd gathered from listening to his interviews, what he and his type are. He's still a coon, but he's one of the more manipulative types of coons who follows a line of conservative thought that doesn't actually go anywhere. They're always the ones asking questions and never really having answers for their own questions, but wanting you to just, hey, look at here, look. And one of the things he advocates for is basically like saying free thought, but more along the lines of just conspiracy theory nonsense. But I think he has 600,000 people on YouTube. There's a lot of people watching this dude's videos. And he's on PragerU. Have you seen PragerU videos?
No.
Right.
Unlike you, I'm unwilling to give people that attention. People like him, like the Hodges twins, Candace Owens. Like I see the memes.
Oh yeah.
I internalize that stuff kind of differently, and like it's not gonna be a positive thing for me. And then the people who are on my platform, you know what I'm saying? So I stay away from it. But like we have those conversations within my gym, all the time about coons and their behavior and how destructive it is to our communities.
Right. What's a recent conversation? I mean, before I ask that, yeah, I subject myself to that nonsense because, like I said, I have to be fair. Unfortunately,
Right.
I like, even-handed. Because maybe sometime somewhere along the line they could actually say something right. But I don't want to just just wave over everything they say as, okay, this motherfucker's a coon. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's a coon going into the video, but I want to see exactly what I understand him to be a coon for and why.
Right.
It is very painful. It's not good.
Right. And there's merit in that. Like I would never tell anybody not to, because I mean, essentially, you can't build, and you said it before, you can't have an opinion on something and you don't even know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like that's super important. Me personally, I know that I can't internalize that stuff and be okay, like moving forward. Like I will go in full on rage, and I just don't want to take it there. You know what I mean? So, like, I absolutely, if people can handle that kind of stuff, because you know how passionate I am about Black people. And so, like, if you can do that, absolutely. Listen, dissect, because you would be more equipped to dismantle the message than I will, because I don't even know what they're talking about half the time because I refuse to listen to them. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that you're in the know, and I actually support it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That's what I do. I mean, everything that like, if you ever see me complaining about something, I did give it a fair chance. Like, and it's just painful. And the thing is, like, you do have to. It's the uncomfortable stuff. Now, there's some things I don't subject myself to, because of just like you said, like the internalization is just too hard. I have actually not watched the George Floyd video. I'll be honest.
Really?
Good.
Yeah, I haven't watched that because I'm like,
okay, I thought it was the only one. I've seen so many of those videos, and
that's exactly
gets old.
Actually, what was the tipping point for me was there was actually way back when Michael Brown had happened. Directly afterward, there was a kid who was executed. He was killed by a cop because he stole a soda at a store. I was like, for me, that hit me the hardest because I used to steal out of stores all the fucking time. I used to steal little fruit snacks from the boxes.
Right.
sodas, whatever the hell. And I'm like, at that point, that could have been me at any
They're
time.
just waiting for a reason.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, you shot him over
Over
a
50
soda.
cent.
Yeah, it's like,
Over
what the
50
fuck?
Right. Right.
And this is where I get so aggravated about the professional coons who always jump on this shit and say, we need unity, we need to stop all the violence and whatnot. It's like, yo, you should be as pissed as us.
Right.
Like, hold up
Yeah,
now.
but
Like,
if they get pissed, they lose their paycheck.
fuck them. Do what John Boyega did. Okay, I mean, like, the thing is, if they lose their paycheck over, like, preserving their humanity, well, I mean,
You also have to remember that not every black person is that what's the word for it?
business savvy.
No, not business savvy, but not every black person has the same experience and that they're not as well connected to the troubles that go on. So
And
they're
that's kind of
speaking
what,
from a very ignorant point of view.
and I think we can go ahead and go into the first part of the professional coons there. Then, what creates what we can know as a coon, and more importantly, how do they evolve to the next form?
That's
There's like 3 episodes of the anime, and they turn into a professional coon.
all right. So this is where it gets complicated. I do believe that a coon may
Maybe born.
may be created from the black community, quote unquote,
Oh, really?
black community. Yeah, and this may be due to lack of acceptance.
Okay.
Say they didn't feel accepted by their own people. Maybe it's because of colorism or because of the way they speak. Arbitrary shit like that.
Right.
And then they say, well, you know what? White people like it when I do this, that, and the third. So now I'm going to tap dance for them. And they so praise to me. And again, there are a lot of factors. Mental illness is one of those factors as well. People don't like bringing up the whole mental illness factor, but that's one reason why I stopped ragging on Azalea Banks, because he's obviously disturbed. And like I said, there are a lot of factors, and I just don't.
Well, I think the acceptance angle is actually something interesting. I never really thought about the idea that, someone feeling rejection from their own community would possibly seek another.
It's kind of like Killmonger to a warped extent.
Okay. I mean, no, I can get that, like how somebody would feel rejected from their own community and be like, well, because there are people who say, oh, the white people treat me better. Get you a white man, get you a white woman or whatnot. Or I have a lot of white friends. Brandon Tatum again. He's in one of his videos, he's like, I have never experienced racism. I have a lot of white friends and none of them are racist. I've never had. Funny thing is, he's actually an ex-cop too. And this is funny because this shows how ignorance just creates these types of things. I guess that's like pretend we're the Powerpuff Girls and we're just making the coon with ignorance, lack of acceptance. My ingredient is ignorance, because he actually told a story. He's a former cop, and he told a story how he's from Tucson, Arizona, and how he was, I guess, in an area where he was, I guess, the only black police officer. He never actually explicitly said it, but he said that he was known around the community, even though he wasn't particularly a cop that let you off, he was still known as the black cop in the community. And he said that around his department, he was known as the black people whisperer. And I was like, you don't recognize that that's problematic? He thought that was a joke. And I was like, and then he had stated in another video that he's never had a racist experience. And I'm like, you literally said your department uses you to diffuse situations with black people. You don't.
Okay, but here's the thing though. It's still, he still feels special due to that. And that's the point.
Ignorance.
Yeah. Well, ignorance, sure, but I believe that even if he realized that he was being used, he would still feel special because he is now something important to a group of people. It's like you have the town whore who's always bragging about how many male friends she has when all they're doing is just fucking her. Like that.
I guess that's sort of graphic, but that makes sense, right? Duran, what do you think? What do you think creates that?
Well, I'm going to give my categories, and then I am going to destroy George the Fourth's
Uh-oh.
Oh, the target's on his back.
reasoning. So, like I said, we talk about this stuff all the time in my gym. My gym
Like,
is like the barbershop. I've said this to you. So, like the categories that I came up with are basically institutions that are rooted in anti-blackness, like literally.
Mhm.
And I told people, I said, you can spot a coon from these institutions. The more checks they have within these institutions, the more likely they will be a coon.
Okay.
First,
Teach
they
us
they
something.
date they date interracially, and when I say interracially, it's anybody who's not black.
I'm out.
Um, right. So the second one is what political party they identify with.
Mhm.
And we all know where that's heading at. The third
I'm being
one
attacked.
is higher education. If they go to a PWI as opposed to a HBCU. The other one is law enforcement or military experience.
Oof.
Usually, black people who have military experience and or they have law enforcement experience, they're more likely to coon. And so, like with all of those categories are rooted in anti-blackness to the core. Um, the police department was created to catch runaway slaves.
Right.
I can go on a whole tangent about black people historically and how they were completely fucked when they joined the military. And I mean, what is more anti-black than marrying someone that's not black? You
Uh,
literally.
hold on now. I support interracial relationships.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not
I
a here nor
don't
there to me.
support marriage at all, so I can't give my 2 cents on that
So
aspect.
it's not about whether or not if you support them. We're talking about the literal definition of anti-blackness. If you want to diffuse your blackness, you take a black person and that person marries a white person and then their children marry white people. Do you see where I'm going with that?
I get what you're saying, like the dissolution of blackness through genes and whatnot. Um, I just am not
I half
for
agree.
for
I've
me.
dated. Okay, go on.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I don't. I think that you can necessarily date who you want to. Honestly,
Of
Okay, but
course,
here's the thing.
I'm not
Dating.
saying that you can't.
yeah,
Here's the thing. Coming from experience,
right.
with the mixing and all that, there is a possible chance that you lose your sense of culture as well.
There's a possible,
If
or
you
is there
date
a
out,
definite? There is a definite
there's an 85% chance. I'll leave it.
85 or 50.
There's I'm
I'd
gonna say
say
85 because based on my observation, again, I date outside my race, but for me, it's like I don't even like dating or I'm against marriage, so it's whoever comes into my circle.
mhm.
I My experiences with dating outside of my race, it's been interesting because I have found that it's anything more than just having fun. You are definitely risking diluting your culture because these people, especially white people, do not understand culture, and they seem to want to just grab you away from being pro-black. Now, I'm not going to say
I could
dating
get it.
outside your race is anti-black, but I'm saying that
It's
I
a
had to be
pathway.
very, what was that?
It's a pathway to it.
It's, if you're not careful, yeah, definitely. It's definitely that. Again, I'm not going to tell people who to date and who to, I'm not even going to mention love because I think that's very arbitrary and long run of things, but
Oh, Duran flows.
So can we get
be
back to the
very,
point of anti-blackness, like
Okay.
literally?
Right.
I'm not saying that people shouldn't date who they want to date. If you take a black person and you have them mate with a white person, the
Right.
child is not going to be all black anymore.
Right. I get
I
what
mean,
you're
that's literally what happens.
saying.
So
Right.
we can act like it's not a thing because we live in post civil rights. Everybody should be blended. Like, no, that is the antithesis.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Look, I get what
So
you're saying.
what the fuck is Malcolm X then?
What do you mean?
Is Malcolm X black?
Yeah.
Is he mixed?
He's mixed. Yeah, white mother.
Oh,
Just because just like, so here's the thing.
Well, here's my viewpoint. As far as I'm concerned, Malcolm X is black. Can we all agree on that?
Right.
I agree with it. Yeah, I mean Bob Marley too.
Right.
So he's black. His father is also black. His mother is white. I think in the long things, it depends on who's leading the household and who's in charge of the indoctrination of culture. Indoctrination is a hard word, but you know what I mean.
I think I think I know what you mean. I mean,
And what I'm saying is that if you have a black father or black mother, or whatever, and they don't care about instilling black values, then yeah, you're gonna get what Flood mentioned. You're gonna get a lot of anti-blackness out
I think,
of the.
yeah, but I think he was talking about like just genetically in general, like having.
Okay.
Yeah, like I get
Right.
I get what he's saying. Yeah.
Right. It's literally anti-blackness, like
Right.
the act of mating outside of your race. I mean, and I know it's uncomfortable for people, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And
Right. I mean, yeah, no, I know people who share those views. So, any what else? What are your other criteria?
so I did law enforcement, military,
Mm-hmm. There. Yeah.
PWI. The education is real big,
Right.
and so from experience, I mean, it's gotten a lot better. But like when I was in school, most of the black people were athletes, right? Most of the black people were athletes, and I went to USC, and I was an athlete there, and I was on a full scholarship, and so they're targeted by white women. Um, you know, they look at us as, you know, mandingo.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
they,
Yep.
they look at us
Yeah.
as prizes, you know what I'm saying? And we reciprocate that by looking at white women as trophies because we understand that the standard of beauty is still very fair skin, long hair, straight hair. Um, and I mean, it has changed a lot, but not that much. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We still have
Fetishization.
very, very black rappers that talk about red bones in their videos. You know what I'm saying?
I actually never knew what is a red bone, yellow bone? I actually never cared to figure out like what the fuck.
Like different shades of light skin women.
Right, right. And so that all of that is anti-blackness as well. I mean, when you start to get into colorism, that's anti-blackness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm dark as hell, so I've seen
right, right. So, I mean, there's so many levels to that. And like I said, the more that people do those things or are involved in those things, the more likely they are to be coons, which, you know, basically in essence, just anti-blackness, like the behavior of anti-blackness. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like discrediting black people, shamming black movements, revolutionary movements, and thoughts.
God,
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you guys are into sports, but like Jason Whitlock is a prime example of cooning. I mean, that dude gets on ESPN and literally just is it's an embarrassment to black people.
Like what has he done recently? Like what have you
Oh,
done?
well, he just lost his job with ESPN.
You're
But
fucked.
I mean, he goes on tangents about LeBron James and how he likes to speak out on social issues, and basically he adopts white supremacy mindsets and basically tells those guys to shut up and dribble.
Yeah,
Like
no,
you
that
don't
shit
get
is.
paid.
Yeah,
You don't get paid to talk about social issues and be this guys. You get paid to play basketball, so that's what you need to do. Like a black man is telling another black man that.
it's fucked up. No, that's like that shit was mad vile when Laura Ingraham said that. Why does she still have a platform? Like I don't understand that shit. Like they said, and this is something I don't understand from a couple. Just like a brick tangent. Like oh he's dead. Okay. Well, this is something I don't understand from a lot of people who are on the lower rungs. I get the whole idea of being against the 1%. But again, there's a lot of people who say, you're rich, why are you speaking out? To a lot of prominent black people. Like, you're rich, why the fuck are you saying this? Or blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I don't know what dollar amount eliminates personhood, or the fact that, you know, they're still like a person, like they still participate in society. Maybe they're not going to the same McDonald's you are, but they're
Right.
still seeing the same things.
Right.
And,
Like you can't be objective anymore after you've made $1 million. You
yeah,
know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Like,
Like,
what the fuck is that? Like, one of my favorite rappers, actually, No Name. She goes on Twitter a lot, and she rails against anybody who's rich. Basically,
yeah.
she thinks like, you're rich, you're a sellout. I don't understand that part. She's anti-capitalist, so she doesn't.
Like, why don't you? So, and this is the thing, and this is why I think personally it's important for people like myself to speak out against capitalism, because I am literally in a position to maximize my earning potential because of not only my credentials, but my experience and everything, but I refuse to do it. Like,
Mhm.
I've had colleagues, I've had mentors tell me that I needed to change the culture of my gym and the projection of my voice in order to maximize my earning potential.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I refuse to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because my humanity as a
Oh, okay.
black person,
There you
and then also just holding America accountable for all of the things that they say, like the country says that it is
Mhm.
important to me. And I
Right.
want it to be just as important as anybody else, you know what I'm saying? And like, I have Republican colleagues that are almost like embarrassed that I have my own business because I'm not playing the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would literally tell me, like, dude, how dare you not be about small government when you are an entrepreneur. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah.
just like, because people matter more. Like, I don't care about things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
if my brother down the street is struggling, like, I don't need.
Oh, what the heck? Oh, you muted yourself, dude. Let me unmute you. There we go.
Right.
All right. Oh, there
Okay.
you go. You're
So
good.
yeah. So I would much rather, you know, help my brother down the street than make an extra $100. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
That's kind of how I feel about like where I would want to deal with my own wealth is to help people out. Because I mean, that's just kind of what I want to do if I was to make millions, is like spread the money around because
Right.
people
And
need it.
that's why when I first met you, I put so much pressure on you because I saw you had something that I've never saw before. And I was like, man, he can really capitalize on this stuff and like separate himself. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right,
And
right. Yeah,
we need more people with that mentality to excel and to play the game so you can redistribute that wealth, because most capitalists don't want to redistribute wealth. They want to hoard that shit. You
mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And I don't care for those people at all. You know what I mean?
Because you don't need anything past 1 million. Fuck, you don't need anything past five
Uh,
hundred
uh,
thousand.
uh,
Okay, so
I
you
need at
wait
least 200. I need at least 200.
200,
I'm
at least
sorry.
200 million. I mean, so let me. This is something that I came up with. All right, all right, ready? How many
Yeah.
burgers? How many McDoubles can I eat with $5?
I
Now,
don't know. I'm a vegan.
how many McDoubles can I eat with $5 million? Exact same
I
amount.
don't know. I'm a vegan.
See, I can only eat so much. I can only use so much utilities. I can only do this, so blah 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 blah. Eventually, you get to a point where you don't need the money.
Right.
So like, you know, like I could eat the same amount no matter how much money I got. Like,
Well,
I'm
your
still good.
family needs it. Your family needs it.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree with storing family wealth. I actually agree with that. And trust me, believe it, they will be the first ones I help out if I was to.
And the bribes that you need to make, you need it too. So
I don't think about the bribes.
you're laughing. I'm being serious.
I don't think about the bribes. All right. See, I
You know
got.
you got cousin Pookie doing bad out there, so you got to bail him out.
I'm actually. I don't want to say nothing about my own family, but Okay. Like let's just say that I wouldn't bail my family out of jail. That's something I would do because
Well, yeah, you told me about your childhood. I wouldn't bail your family out, man. I'm sorry.
yeah,
But
you
you know what?
love about it.
Your family, my family is your family. So
Word.
you're welcome to
Right.
bail me out.
Be my man. I don't know what you would get locked up for. What would you even get locked up for?
Probably embezzlement. Probably embezzlement.
Fair enough.
I'm not sure if you told him, Goldwill, about how I used to hustle, but I've done some really shady shit in the beginning of my freelancing years. I think I told you some of the shit that I did.
Don't say anything illegal to get us arrested. All right.
No,
So,
I'm not, it wouldn't get me arrested because they need proof. But
oh man, you have a microphone troubles today, man.
well, I'm on my phone right now. My laptop it totally set down. You see that?
Why don't you spent how much on like how
I actually have two more laptops and a Chromebook in my closet.
how much RAM do these things have?
I don't know, but keep in mind I've had this Asus for like maybe 7 years. So
Are you on a Nokia right now? Like what are you on? What is
I really think it's just his internet. Like I think it's his internet because he switched through like a computer, two computers, and a phone now.
He's frozen
And
again.
right.
No, same computer. Same computer.
Same computer. Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
man, you just look $500. I would even offer to build the shit for you, but no, because $500. Look up some YouTube videos.
But next time I have a laptop that it's amazing. I use it for editing mainly. I rarely pull it out, so no homo.
Why don't you just
But
pull it out now? Just pull it out.
What was that?
Just pull it out now.
I don't have any room on my desk at all.
Just throw the laptop on your desk in the garbage. That shit is useless. I mean, look, I'm using a $2,000 rig right now, like for everything.
His microphone is horrible. His picture is distorted.
Duran doesn't even have a damn computer. He's using his phone, and he's dead. He's dead again. All right, so anyways, next part on the discussion. I think we've covered the creation of a coon, more or less.
Actually, no, what do you think about
let's go into a couple of those things. Let's see. So you had said military, primary white institution, or HBCU.
Yeah, so like all of those things are rooted in anti-blackness, like literally.
Right.
And I think that people adopt the ideologies of those things.
Well, what do you feel? I was going to say, what do you feel is particularly anti-black about, just like briefly about all those things? What do you feel exactly is the essence of the anti-blackness that you sense or would explain to people?
Okay, so cool. Let's just go down the list with we call them PWIs when it comes to universities. Like to distinguish, like it's literally a historically black college, right? And so the majority of the people that you see there are black people, and it's the opposite. The curriculum of those colleges, like you do an intro to like African American studies and things like that, are electives in PWIs when they're almost always, like your first year as a freshman, you have to learn about African American culture.
Right.
And so with those, there's a big difference there because the culture there is black. But what makes it even more anti-black is the resources that are allotted to both universities. You have black athletes who fund those PWIs and dump millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars And who receives the benefit of all of those millions and millions of dollars? Mostly white students,
because
right?
they don't pay college athletes.
Right. And so there's an elitist mentality that comes along with that. So black people look at that as, a quote unquote better opportunity because, they have dorms where, there's a kitchen inside of there. Or, if I wanted to learn about astrophysics, uh, they have that there as opposed to a HBCU that doesn't have that kind of stuff there. And so, like, all of these things creates an empowerment in white institutions, and at the same time, it demeans the HBCUs, and black people literally look down on that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when I was coming up in high school, the only thing that I really wanted was to go to a big school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go to the Southeastern Conference and travel against, and compete against the best athletes in the world. And I did that. And at the same time, I was turning my nose up to the HBCUs.
Right. Because
Like, that's anti-blackness.
right. I get
Um,
you.
with the police department, I mean, do I need to explain?
Do
do I
we
need to
really need to
explain?
explain it this one? Because okay, so let me actually say this. I'm slightly embarrassed to say this. I actually used to be a bootlicker. I actually used to be pro police way back in high school. Uh, in fact, there is still an old Facebook page with 2 posts up where I said "respect the police," and I put, how I do with those long paragraphs, and I put up a long. In fact, fucking
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not.
don't do
Don't.
that. Don't pull
Just
up the.
don't.
Okay, but
No.
anyways, I used to actually be, because I actually my ex-girlfriend Brandy, she was actually somebody who had uh basically have been the first person to pop that bubble around me. I had been more sheltered. Uh
I can tell.
Shut the fuck. Anyways,
N- Now, so the Brandy girl,
mm,
excuse me, lady, did she comment on when we were going back and forth? Is that her?
nah, she is not here. She's
Okay.
not on Facebook. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, what you call it? Yeah. But she was one of the first people to pop my bubble. She was talking about, she was from Cleveland. So uh is an area that has known crime. She knows the police department out there was mad corrupt. Right? Me around here, Virginia Beach, I didn't really see it. So I was one of those people who didn't see it. So I'm like, that's not true. She was talking about like simple things like police quotas, like just arrest quotas. I was like, they wouldn't do that. Come on now. That doesn't make any sense. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I used to be fucking anti everything back in fucking high school. I used to be anti marijuana too. But anyways, like I believed a lot of what I was told. And
Right.
until it wasn't until around like Trayvon Martin where I started seeing like the problematic things in both policing and societal views of, black and brown people. Like, I'd gone through colorism all through high school, but I figured it's just because everybody in Virginia Beach was a bunch of dicks. Like, that's basically it. But then you start seeing, I think when it finally hit me was when I think it was Laura Ingraham on Fox, and she said he was no angel. Like, that was the first part. And they started going through, he was suspended at school, and he might have had marijuana or whatever. And I'm like, a child is dead, and this is what you're digging up. Like, you're trying
Right.
to make the child look as bad as possible. So on somebody's warped ass mind, because they know that somebody is gonna say, oh, well, that does it, he's gotta go.
Right.
Like, and that's when I started seeing like a lot of crazy shit. You start seeing more and more police violence going on left and right. And me personally, I'm somebody who takes evidence to heart and changes his opinions accordingly. So I start seeing the police start buck wilding on black people like more and more as social media started exploding. And I just see this crazy shit like that I had never seen coming up, and hadn't even, like, because my parents never really talked too much about police violence or their dealings with the police coming up. We we had the black talk and everything and whatnot, but we had the black talk, talking about how to deal with police and whatnot. But more importantly, I'd never gotten a vivid visual. It was when I started seeing it that I started actually researching and looking into it. And I just started seeing more and more. It's like, okay, the police are pretty fucking problematic. And then I took African American studies, and then, well, that was pretty much all she wrote. I was like, well, I'm on the train. Go ahead, just put the black power fist on my back, man, because I was like, wow, there's a lot of fucked up things going on that I didn't even realize were happening. And I'm just like, I went from like bootlicking, saying respect the police, to like, I pay the police.
Right.
Why would I respect someone who's acting up if I'm employing them?
Right.
I was like, and yeah, like I'm just like, this ain't it, bro. Anybody who's like, what about the cops family? Fuck the cops family.
Right.
What the fuck is that? Now,
Right.
I don't want it to seem like I'm not empathetic to certain things that happen. I guess a couple police were killed in the protests or something like that. I forgot what happened. Like some retired police officer was killed. I think it was a detective.
Okay.
And, unintended casualty of, protests and whatnot. I don't want to sound like acceptable losses, but,
I'll say it.
I don't, you said it, not me. All right. That's,
I'll say it. Right.
I'm not going to say that because I don't believe there's any acceptable loss. I just don't. I think the police
absolutely do.
I think that the police right now need to be fucking destroyed and disbanded and built from the ground up. Like,
Right.
Absolutely. But I don't believe in an acceptable loss of life, basically. Oh, there you go.
I mean, so how many lives is it going to take for you to actually start to believe in it?
Unacceptable losses?
Yes.
Well, who are we losing?
More black people.
Well, I don't think any losses are acceptable. One is
Right.
too
So,
many. Yeah.
so here's the thing. What if another 10 people, unarmed black people, were killed, and 5 of them were in Virginia Beach?
Right.
And the Virginia Beach residents decided to blow up a police department, and there were people inside of there. Would you legitimize that?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'm sorry. I'm totally with blowing up the police department because material things can be replaced. You can rebuild the fucking building, but you can't get somebody's life back.
Right. So what about the trauma for centuries, literally? I mean,
Right.
it happens over and over and over and over and over again. And then at what point do people say, you know what, you guys, you guys aren't going to stop? And like the only thing that people acknowledge is loss of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the only thing. And so like when it comes to black people, especially, our moral compass always seems to be higher when it comes to things like humanity.
Oh yeah.
But like America doesn't operate on that same moral spectrum. And so what happens is you get black people like yourself who are saying, you know what, nobody needs to lose their life.
Mm-hmm.
But America will say, you know what, you killed up our people. Let's go to Afghanistan and bomb up everybody there and take all of their resources. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
why is it always us to have to be the bigger person and be the nice guy?
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't believe in that whole bigger person or forgive bullshit. I don't believe in forgiveness really at all. But at the
But you
same
don't
time,
condone a loss of life.
the thing about revenge is it is something that, eventually darkens you as well.
How?
Okay, so they kill one of us, we kill 2 of them.
Uh-huh.
We're both enemies now. When's it gonna stop?
When they're all dead, or when they wave the white flag. Okay, so I just popped in, but I think I have the gist of the conversation.
Essentially,
If
right
someone were
now.
to kill my child, all right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking revenge. I think that's fair.
Right. Like, why do we always have to take the high road? Why?
Exactly.
Why?
We don't have to take the high road. We don't. Okay? I'm not saying we have to take the high road. For me personally, I don't believe in, like losses like that. The thing
But
is,
But
I like what did we gain by killing that cop or the other cops that were shot in protests? What do we gain other than
we set a precedent.
well,
We've set a precedent that they know if you kill one of ours, we're gonna kill one of yours.
and then they start cracking down on our neighborhoods indiscriminately. Harder.
And
they've
then we
been
start
doing it.
trapping. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, no, I'm
Exactly.
talking about I'm talking about they have a fucking Tulsa, Oklahoma shit going on again. Like I'm
It's
pretty sure
happened.
Then we combat that as well.
we just
But
don't
as
kill the
long as we do
consequences.
nothing, then the oppression is still going to continue.
So
Right.
okay, so
That's why. What's that? Christopher Dorner. Christopher Dorner had them running scared. All right. They had them shooting into a car full of civilians, thinking that they're about to kill them. Imagine if you had a whole bunch of Christopher Dorners. All right.
I mean, you saw what happened to Dorner, right? 400 cops. Like
There was no
rolled in.
body found. There was no body found. You can't corner the Dorner.
I mean, just at some point, like, people need to understand repercussions and consequences. And
Yes.
That's true.
the bully will never ever stop bullying unless it understands that there's going to be repercussions and consequences. So again, it just reminds me of like colonialism. When Europeans came down and raped and pillaged all of the Africans and left those people with Bibles and say, listen, this is what it is, because that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to those black people? Like, what's happening to those black people? It's the same mentality that you're projecting right now. You see what I'm saying? And they completely destroyed Africa. Like, Africa still hasn't recovered from more than 400 years ago. You know
Not
what I'm
only
saying?
that, but
Like,
you have China stepping in as well. So
right. Like,
Oh, yeah, everybody's buying
everybody
a piece of
goes,
pie.
yeah. Like, yeah, everybody just comes in Africa, and we're all just sitting around like, look, God is going to take care of it, or we shouldn't do this, or we shouldn't do this. And people are like, well, we know these people think this way, so we're going to do whatever the fuck we want to them.
I think I see that as a fair point. That's fair.
go to have you ever had a bully?
Plenty, yeah.
You ever stood up to that bully?
Depends. There've been a couple
Answer
ones.
the question directly.
You ever walked up to that bully and say, "Hey, don't bully me anymore," and that bully said, "I'm not going to," and it just right there. You ever do that?
Yes.
What happened next?
He kept doing it.
But did you keep, or did you say,
I mean,
So you got into a literal fight with that person?
no, I've gone against. It was, yeah, no, I haven't gotten into a fight with my bullies.
and here's another thing. It don't matter if it's 5-on-1. As long as you knock out a couple of them and you keep swinging, they're going to be like, hey, I'm not going to jump on him again because I know I might get hit.
Right.
I mean, I throughout my life, I've had bullies that have been always bigger than me. I'm not talking about like a couple inches. I'm talking about 10 years older and massively taller than me. I was not in a position to fight.
Okay, but look at how ants come together and they conquer their enemies. All right.
You just called
Someone throw in the African proverb here. It's needed. All right.
Look, man. Look. Okay. Like a lot of the times, I was always under the threat of like getting consequences if I got in trouble at school or this, that, and the third. Like it was.
Your folks never signed your karate like that?
No. My folks would beat my ass if I got like suspended from school or some stupid shit like that. And
Even if it's because of you being bullied and you defending yourself?
yes.
That makes no sense.
See, the thing is, I guess I had a habit of not being. Oh, he's gone. All right. I had a habit as a kid not being truthful. So my parents never believed my side on things. And growing up it was pretty rough trying to explain things as I got older, and say, hey, this happened, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, we believe you're lying. Whatnot. It was to the point where things would happen at school. It's like, if I retaliate, I get suspended, I'm going to get my ass beat. Regardless, because it's my fault. So I'm like,
see, I could just lie and my parents will believe me. Like,
yeah, my parents always.
My family is tight knit. Like, it don't matter what's going on. Family gonna have each other's back. All right. I could be the bully and my family gonna have my back. So
I don't
I'm
think.
not saying that I was ever a bully. I was, but still.
No, the thing with me was, yeah, I was always in the wrong, no matter what. I was in the wrong. I mean, as I got older, like, I'm obviously a grown man now, and I told everybody, like, it's not gonna happen. The way it was in high school, the only reason I just didn't want to get fucking suspended, so I'd have to deal with that shit at home. But the way it is now, yeah, I'll hit.
I never had that problem of being suspended.
He's homeschooled. But anyways, he actually legitimately was homeschooled. That's not a joke. But no, the thing is,
I'm so privileged.
I had the threat of repercussions. Like, I was gonna get my ass whooped. So it's like, regardless, like that's why I didn't retaliate versus any of my bullies, because I'm like, oh, gotta deal with the same shit at home if I fuck up. Mind you, this isn't like a abuse thing or anything like that. It's just like my parents never believed me when I was a teenager, so it's just like, well, what the fuck? I'm fucked here. Like,
Right.
so
So you were
now.
You were not honest, and because you weren't honest,
Yeah, I was.
I
Just
did, I
about
did
to
a
say
lot
that.
of
I'm
I did a
sorry.
lot of things as a kid. Like,
I'm sorry. It seems like you put yourself in that position right now.
right?
right. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Like, so when I'm pushed into the corner here, like, damn, I actually have bullies now, but nobody believes me. So it's like, fuck. Well, I'm fucked here. It's not the same now because, like I said, I'll hit you in your mouth. But back
Will
then,
you though? Because you're talking about revenge ain't the answer. Like, are you willing to throw down? All right.
yes.
No, he's a pacifist. That's why he likes Silver Surfer. Don't you like Silver Surfer?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't like the
Okay.
Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer's okay. He's OP, but why the hell would I like the Silver Surfer?
I don't
He's
know. You
boring.
sound like him right now.
The boring character. I'm not a pacifist. Like I said, I don't seek conflict, sure, but not like a pacifist. I'm someone who just defends himself.
Right.
That's it.
So
You're a turtle.
So if
Sure.
somebody kills somebody that you know, you're not going to seek revenge. You're going to go through the justice system, and you're going to rely on them to do the right thing, right?
You're
Because
gonna
they
rely
always do
on the
the right
same
thing.
people that called us niggers.
Look, I know y'all looking at me funny, but
I don't know what side you're on now, because this is a podcast about coons, and you talking about not killing white people. I thought we were on the same page here.
wait a minute. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, that one jumped out of nowhere. All right. Okay. Anyways, look. All right. So I would go through the bureaucracy. Yes.
Why?
Look. The thing is, I always had a lot of consequence coming up. I prefer not to have consequence. Legal consequence.
Okay, but you're not.
I do not want to get put in jail. Don't want to get put in prison on any of that nonsense. I don't want any of that. I'm not.
Have you seen Law Abiding Citizen?
No, I haven't.
It's an amazing movie.
I know, right? Until the ending, because I was like, come on. The bad guys never win. And how is he a bad guy? But up until then, it was a fantastic movie.
I need you to do better, man. Like, I really do.
I'm not a revenge type person.
I need you to defend us.
I mean,
blood in, blood out, bro.
No, seriously. Like, that's super important because we can't rely on a system who has a horrible history of discriminating against us to do what's right by us.
Right.
Like, that makes absolutely no sense. especially not only that system, we're talking about the judicial system, but like if police people, which are supposed to enforce the law, like what if it was them? Like I would ride for you. And then
Right.
after I would ride for you, I would kill you after I kill them because I would call you all kind of pussy.
Well, goddamn.
I wasn't going that far, but I'd be like chowing you fat in a bear tomorrow and just kind of set you up like, look at that, man. You
Just
guys probably haven't seen that movie.
No,
we can't. I mean, this shit has to stop, man. Like,
it does. It does. I absolutely agree that it has to stop.
like I don't want to see the shit no more, man. Like I get tired of it.
That's
Like
the
we
thing. The
just
marching is not doing anything. You know
so
what?
listen. I did the Arbery. What's his name?
Ahmaud
Arbery one.
Arbery, yeah.
Right. That was what 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then, like, literally 2 or 3 weeks after that, you had George Floyd, and I gathered a lot of people. We did like the 2.3 mile run walk thing.
Oh, you're a runner
Like,
too?
yeah, I ran track.
Oh, nice.
So we did the 2.3 miles, and I had like 40 or 50 people out there with me. And then,
Mhm.
like, immediately, like 2 weeks later, then some shit like this, like,
Nonstop.
when is
Yeah.
it going to start? Like, it's
Yeah.
just, and then so what happens is we become desensitized to it because it becomes so regular. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's something we have to stop. It's the normal at the moment because we
But to
see it so many
you,
times.
if we go your route, it's going to continue to keep happening.
That's right.
So what do you propose? What are you proposing? You
I already told you.
Every time
blow
a
up a
cop
police
kills an
station?
yeah, that's a start. That's a start.
I mean, taking over the police stations, burning them shits to the ground, that's perfectly fine. Like, I'm
No,
with
but
that.
we're talking about actual murder, as in George Zimmerman should have been dead a long time ago. A long fucking time ago.
Yeah, that city,
Like,
No, he
I
should have
seen
been
him.
dead. We have
Yeah,
so many killers out here, but he's not dead.
he's in the
What
state
fuck?
with the Zoes, so they
Right.
dropped the ball on that.
And for me personally, that's the epitome of cooning. If we're going to get back on topic,
Right.
like we have gangbangers who are hell bent on killing each other, us,
Mhm.
because we rock a different flag. But you have somebody outside of our community who preyed upon one of us, and we're just sweeping under the rug. Like, you're doing the white man's work for him.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the white man also knows that we're killing each other, so now they're dropping guns and crates. So we're just picking them up, killing each other even more.
Right. Or opening
Innocent
up
people
gun
getting hit.
shops and
So yeah.
opening up gun shops in predominantly black areas and giving discounted rates on guns. Like,
Oh,
oh,
I'm
that
not
shit is.
even talking about buying though. I'm talking about like they're literally dropping off guns in
Well, yeah. Well,
areas.
I
And
mean, you can't do that shit anymore. But I watched a documentary on black gun ownership and crime rates and all of that stuff. Like, what they're doing now is the government is giving white people, non-black people, loans, low interest loans, and letting them open up gun shops that are close to black communities,
Interesting.
and basically selling guns at a discounted rate because they can. They're pretty much doing the same thing, but they're doing it legally now.
That's a pain in the ass. So the solution is rising up and blood in, blood out.
So here's the thing, like I feel you. Like, ultimately, I want to be where you are, but think about the most progress that we had on police reform in the last 100 years. What happened?
just body cams, and that's pretty much it. They catch it on camera. Same thing happens afterwards.
Yeah.
No, I mean, just
Yeah.
this last
No,
week,
just like we
the
marched in 50
citizens,
states.
right? The citizens literally had to tear everything down. Literally,
Mm-hmm.
there's police reforms, policies that's being passed all over the country now because of violence, essentially.
Well, yeah, I actually do agree with that. That I don't denounce the rioting whatsoever. I mean, that's the thing. Destroy things, you can rebuild them. That's fine. You
Just
know,
don't destroy anything I have stock in, and we're good.
nah, destroy that shit too. Because the stock falls, you buy low. Scrub.
That's
The fuck?
right.
Yeah, like what the fuck? You think I made that money in the stock market by buying high? The fuck? All right. Anyways, but no, the rioting did help. But the thing is, and I have voiced my frustration with how slow this fucking process is. With when I talked about the Confederate statues coming down, that's a symbolic gesture. Those shits should have never been erected at all.
Yeah, we did a podcast on it actually with a bunch of dumb white girls. But
Oh, that was fucking dumb, man. Don't even. Having to tell them basic history about fucking Confederate statues was not a high point. But yeah, no, those things should have never been put up, and we just got them shits down after 100 years. And it took protesting in 50 states to get to the remove shit that should have never been put up, and that's a symbolic gesture. That shit does nothing. Okay, the system is still the same without those statues. It's just now we're not getting the middle finger when we go into the fucking public square. Okay,
Right.
congratulations. And you know they're banning Confederate flags in NASCAR. That's decent, I guess.
Yeah, but nobody
there's
cares about
something. Yeah,
NASCAR.
there's
Yeah,
something to gain from that though. Like,
right.
and I know I'm being a minimalist here, and I'm picking up breadcrumbs, but like symbolism means a lot.
It does.
You think about like how, and I'm going back to religion again, like how Christianity is spread, especially amongst in the African American community. Like, if you think about the 90s, especially, everybody had a Jesus piece, but nobody was a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, I always wanted one of those chains too. Those diamonds.
Right, everybody
Nice.
did.
Yeah.
Everybody did. I remember Big Pun had the craziest shit ever. It's like, and you know, he was like 900 pounds in a set like this on his chest.
Yeah.
Like that cross, like those symbols play a huge role on the subconscious too. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
Especially when it comes to white people and white supremacy and empowerment. I don't need to see that shit.
I think that's a fair.
Well, that's. Remember, we argued about would they have a statue of Hitler in Germany?
Yeah,
Right,
they
hell
would
no.
absolutely no. And the thing is, okay, and that's why I said it's nice to have that, but at the same time, when I say it's a symbolic gesture, what I mean is them things coming down are not disrobing the Klansmen that are still in the police. It's not, stopping the systemic racism. I do think that them coming down because they were in public squares, and also it's unpatriotic and a whole bunch of other shit that just shouldn't be. That's all well and good, and I do accept that as progress. At least, now we're finally moving forward to where we should have been. That's
Right.
fine. We're moving, forward. Okay, that's not a small thing, I guess. I shouldn't minimize it. But at the same time, again, we still have a stopgap Senate right now. Like, that's the thing. And we still have a president that's rogue as hell that's now doubling and tripling down on defending the Confederacy right now.
Right.
There's some things that, burning the shit down isn't going to change. And unfortunately, bureaucracy is the way. Unless we drag the fucking senators out of the building kicking and screaming, which...
Sometimes you have to do that.
I mean, as V for Vendetta said, the government should fear its people. Now, I'm not advocating violence, but like I said, that would probably be the fastest track. That would be the fastest track because now
I'm someone who believes that there will always be a system.
Mm-hmm. There will always be a system.
But in order for there to be another system, you do have to tear down the system that's in place.
That is true.
That's inevitable.
And right now,
otherwise they'll alter the system, but it's still going to benefit them and their needs.
And the thing is, there's a problem with that in this country because there's no way in hell we could beat the United States government in combat. Like there's
without being strategic, yeah.
No, there's no
not
way.
At all. You
Right.
do not know the weapons they have.
Right.
Like he was threatening to call.
We're talking about alien shit.
No,
We're talking
like bro,
about-
they have drones. Like
They have drones that fire. Like these
Right,
things
like-
are actually scary.
like if America decided that they wanted to kill us
Everybody.
right now because of the shit that we're talking about, a drone would be outside of this window and popping my head off.
Yeah. Like, there's actually nothing we can do to combat the United States. They were rolling fucking tanks out for the police. Now, remember, there was a legislation during Obama era, actually, where he was like, why the fuck are we giving military weapons to the police? Let's stop that shit. And then Trump was like, fuck yeah, boy, we giving these guns right back to the like,
I mean,
they
as
have
much as I love Obama, he's actually responsible for a lot of drone killings in the Middle East.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Syrian
Yeah.
bombing campaign was yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like the Syrian bombing campaign is fucking disgusting. It's the worst part of his presidency.
Right.
So
Could
yeah,
you
no,
imagine?
like, and that's the thing. We were dropping what, like 5,000 bombs a minute with
Right.
drones. That was pretty bad. And that's the thing. If if they drop the American military on America, America's fucked.
Right.
Okay, but
There's not a goddamn thing. I'm convinced they have a satellite laser.
But we may have a trump card. We may have a trump card.
He's in the
They've
office.
recently discovered UFOs. There are UFOs out there. The government has announced that there are UFOs. So what if we pick sides with the aliens? What if the aliens?
But you saw the famous alien from outer space is also a white dude. Wears a red cape. Nope, we can't win.
Here we go.
I mean,
we can't win.
Which Superman? Which Superman? Like,
Oh, sorry,
are we talking about Red Sun or Injustice?
God, either one. I'm pretty sure.
Are we talking about Homelander from The Boys?
Oh, God.
That's a good ad.
That's basically the American Superman.
Yes, that is Superman. If Superman was
evil,
if
right.
Superman existed.
But no, if he was evil. I don't believe power corrupts immediately, but over time, Christopher Nolan was smart for that line. You die a hero or you become the villain, and that is exactly what happens to literally everyone. So yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. Like, unfortunately, for some things, yes, the protests are going to get progress. Like, right now, we have a lot of laws going in the states banning chokeholds, no-knock raids. Again, this also seems like things that should have been default. I don't know if someone needed to tell you that busting in someone's house, firing ain't shit. But
here's the thing: the protests aren't changing anything. The riots are changing.
The protests are. Both of them are. The riots give them.
You can march all day long, but once you start fucking up the government's money, then we got change.
It's not the government's money. Who the fuck? No, you fuck up the government.
Local governments.
Yeah,
Government.
The thing is, you fucking up the government's money, that's nothing. You're paying them. Fucking up private money. When people were pissed that Arby's was burning, they were like, oh, you're burning the Arby's. You're burning the Target. They got fucking heated. Because that's the private money that they actually fucking care about. That's the capitalism. You're paying into the police departments that you blow up. That's your money. You blow up their money. You blow up their money, they actually pay attention.
Take it back to the old Wild West.
Yeah, so, like, I get what the riots are doing, and I'm glad they burned down that Arby's. Who eats Arby's? Y'all eat Arby's? Who's keeping it in business? Okay.
I'm a vegan once again.
So do they have vegan roast beef?
But if they cook it on the same grill as the meat, then
I don't know. I don't know if they have vegan roast beef. I mean, you eat vegan hamburgers from Burger King. Do you think they cook it on a different grill?
I actually asked them to microwave it because they cook it on the same grill.
You a nasty son bitch. All right, back to the
look, man. I'm running marathons. I'm lifting every day. You should try a vegan diet, plant based. All right, try it just for 30 days. Okay, change your life.
Trevor, right?
I like steak too much.
But how many? But can you run a mile without stopping, without losing your breath?
I have asthma. No. Yeah.
I'm telling you, cut out meat, cut out drinking.
My asthma doesn't go away.
Smoking, all of that.
My asthma. I don't smoke. My asthma does not go away. I will be on the ground crying.
It's psychological. If you think hard enough, it will go away.
Right, and being broke is a state of mind. All right,
exactly.
Back on subject. Jesus Christ, back on topic. We had a long diversion there where you guys were hiring assassins to kill Trump. Back to
Black Ops.
So
killed Kennedy. Mason did.
It was clearly Ted Cruz, his father.
The numbers.
All right, so now we're on to the second part, the consequence of coon. That actually sounds pretty cool. All right, so
The consequence of coon. That should probably be the title of this episode. The consequence of
consequence of
coon.
coon. Done. All
Like
right, so well, I mean, we've gone on a lot about consequences of certain coons. I mean, I mentioned first off, Candace Owens mentioned in a terrorist manifesto, and I think that their words are not spoken in a vacuum. What other examples do you guys think? What examples do you have of cooning escaping from the ether actually into the real world, manifesting itself? Because I mean, there are most likely more examples that are
Oh yeah. I mean, so for me, again, I'm a sports guy.
right.
Guys like Charles Barkley. Oh, Sammy
God,
Sosa is a really, really, really good example of.
wait, Sammy Sosa's black?
not
Yeah, he's
anymore.
Dominican. He's Dominican. So he's absolutely black, but now he's a white man,
Yeah, not anymore.
right? And I mean, if you really want to get deep into it, Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, vitiligo. Come on, son.
That all of that was not vitiligo. All right, all of that was not vitiligo. And
And here's the defense, right? Like he had vitiligo, great, but why
Right.
did he change his nose? Why did he change his
That
hair?
part I don't know.
Why did he change it? Because he was a coon. He wanted to be a white man.
I agree. He made
I will
great
not
music,
take
little
disgracing
boys,
the
but
king. What the fuck?
okay, he's a pedophile though. You do realize that, right? He's no different than 6ix9ine.
And then, okay, so you have those instances where he's cooning, and you got to think about who he was married to. Again, I gave you the criteria. Think about
Did
it.
he adopt a white woman as well? No, adopt a white girl as well? Yeah. So, like I said, he wanted to be white. That much was well known. He wanted to be white. He was in the little boys, white little boys. So he's pretty much a white. He's pretty much trying to be a white man. Like,
Coon.
Wow. I just heard people disrespecting the king.
He is the
why?
king, but he was a coon. Just like
King
Sammy
King?
Sosa.
You can be like Mystical is a rapist, but I love his music. Like R. Kelly pees on little girls, makes good music, even though I was never really a fan of his music. I believe I Can Fly is decent, but at the same time, it's like you've got to separate the artist from the personality, the acts as well.
I don't agree with that at all.
No, what I mean is when I say separate, I mean you have to recognize the acts. You can't just ignore them.
I can't do that. I have not listened to R. Kelly in years.
But you
Because-
listen to Michael Jackson.
No,
Right?
actually, I don't listen to him really. Like maybe I'll put on Dirty Diana once every 2 years, but no.
He's got a joint with Biggie that I really, really love. That's
Oh, did
pretty
they
much
just
the
release
only
that?
song that I can
He
listen to.
really thought.
It.
He really thought.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that.
Stupid. Yeah, no. I don't listen to Michael Jackson. Not really, because I'm never really in the mood to listen to Michael Jackson. And R. Kelly. We knew R. Kelly was a monster for 20 years, and
But that's another thing. Black people need to start holding each other accountable as well. And I don't mean publicly. I do, but behind the scenes, we need to say, "Hey, we're not going to push you out there. We're not going to make you famous. We're not going to do business with you if you're going to act this way." And I get it. Depending on how you do it, may give white people ammo, but at the same time, we can't let certain black people get to a certain height so that they can do whatever they want and ruin. Like I said,
I agree.
R. Kelly.
dangerous.
How many little black girls have R. Kelly touched? And we allowed that shit.
Right.
I mean, there was a whole sex cult.
Right. And so I think that we need to put a destination to cooning too, because things like that I think is cooning behavior because it's destructive to the community.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't necessarily anti-black as in promoting whiteness, but it's absolutely destructive to blackness at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because people see that as representation of us, even if
Right.
obviously that's an individual person, but they're like, see, all black people are like that. It's fucking
Right. And people like that. And I mean, even Michael Jackson, I love his music, but that dude, it's almost like he wanted to use his skin condition as an opportunity to be what he really was on the inside. And that's why he changed his nose and got the white girl. And permed his hair and had the
And
bob and shit.
Remember when I mentioned about mental illness? It's also clear that he had a mental illness as well. That's why I say a lot of behavior may stem from trauma in someone's childhood. Take, for example, Doja Cat, whatever the fuck her name is.
Oh man, that woman.
It's very clear that her Azalea Banks, they have something going on. Something traumatic happened to them, and that's the way they act towards black people. Again, and I'll throw this out. I'm guilty of it too, but yeah, a lot of times someone's race play fetish will also stem from self-hatred too.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, funny thing.
I'm not saying all the time. I'm saying that 90% of the time.
You know, actually, funny thing is, I actually had like a story of the prank I never pulled. It was weird. Like I was gonna one day just like gimp my own profile picture and like lighten my skin, but then I was like, what's the joke here? And I was like, you know, that's not a thing. It's like
Another,
no
but that's why I mentioned Tyler the Creator. I would also categorize Tyler the Creator under coon. He's done a lot of cooning.
I don't know about that.
Really?
Tyler the Creator is edgy.
He's gone on interviews saying he doesn't care whether people call him a nigger or not. He doesn't care who. It's just I get artistic expression. That's why I'm not judging him based on his music, but just the way he moves. It's like, you know how you have that one black person who grows up in the middle of a whole bunch of white people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they move a certain way, and there's someone who has a circle of people of color. Tyler the Creator has a lot of black friends, but he seems to want the validation of white people, which I never understood. But his crazy antics, I can see why that would have.
I don't. Oh, he's dead. Okay. I don't know. Are you up on Tyler the Creator?
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
I think Tyler. No, he's actually hilariously not problematic.
right. And he talks about a lot of social issues in his song. I don't know where he got that from.
That's the thing. Like, you know, Tyler the Creator he wasn't really problematic even in his early Odd Future days where he made like songs about rape and whatnot. Okay,
Right.
yeah, you know, tasteless, fine. But he himself as a person, he doesn't really seem like a bad dude, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah,
I think he's really socially aware. I listen to a lot of Odd Future. I listen to I like Earl. I like all those dudes, man.
oh, okay, good on you, stepping out of the '90s again. Look at you.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you that you were Daniel's son? I told you.
Look at you over here finally. But you haven't listened to what? No, you listened to Rhapsody. That's right. You listened to Rhapsody. You haven't listened to No Name. That's right. You haven't listened to No Name.
I was listening to Rhapsody before you, probably. I was in college when I first started listening to Rhapsody.
Okay, whatever.
How'd you discover her? I discovered her on a collab track with Jean Grey.
I found her on To Pimp a Butterfly. Look, don't judge me.
I don't remember. I just know that I first started hearing her when I was in school at USC. And I think this was like 06 or something like that.
Well, yeah. So, okay. You still haven't listened to No Name, though, and some other people like Denzel Curry. You're slacking.
I mean, I'm an old man.
I know.
Wait. How old are you? Because you seem like maybe I'm going to guess 30s.
He's 60.
Late 30s. Wait, really?
No, he said his dad was 70. His dad would be 10 years older than him.
I'm 35.
Okay, I was right. So I was that's not
It's
old.
not that old. I mean, it is pretty old. I mean, I'm pretty sure Bones Creek, but you know, it's not that old.
It's old. Luckily, I train a lot of young kids and stuff like that. They keep me hip, and like there's this one song that I've been listening to. I guess it was trending on TikTok or something like that. I think he's from Florida, Lil Pooty or some shit like that.
You on your own there, bro. Fuck.
I'm telling you, you got to hear it. The song is fire.
You listen to OT Genesis. I do not take song suggestions from you.
You should.
Wait, OT Genesis is decent though.
What the fuck?
Like, he's not a bad rapper. He just has his own style.
Right. He's not a good rapper, but he's entertaining.
Exactly. Look here. Look, this is like saying I should listen to, Jacquez covers. Okay? I'm good.
I never said that he was a dope MC. I think that he's super entertaining and he makes dope songs. You can do both.
Well, yeah, he has his own lane, and I feel like every artist should have their own lane. I like variety. Some days I may listen to Two Chainz, Waka Flocka. Some days I might listen to
Every day is a 2 Chainz day for me. I love conscious music, 90s. I'm stuck there, but every day is a 2 Chainz day.
I know you are. But no, I mean 2 Chainz, he's hilarious, but not my cup of tea. I don't really.
And you have the nerve to critique my hip hop prowess. Like 2 Chainz, again, he's not an amazing rapper, but he makes great music.
No, 2 Chainz is good. I was down with him when he was Titty Boy for Players.
I wasn't.
That was actually a Duffel Bag Boy. I like that song. It's just
it was decent.
He's comedy to me. Like, he was just on Run the Jewels 4, and
but how you feel about 2 Chainz? I feel about Eminem.
Yeah, I'll never listen to that trash.
Thank you. Like I said, he can flow. He has technical ability, but the lyrics more often than not are trash. And
I mean,
he's a good entertainer. That's it for me, But he's not someone that I will put on a high pedestal.
Is this thing working? Fuck you both.
All right. he already knows how I feel about him. Like, that's all. I mean, yeah, technically he's great. He puts words together really cleverly, but
he's Chino XL.
Right.
Chino XL was doing what he was doing before when Eminem was in diapers. Chino XL was flowing that way. Come on.
I'm pretty sure Eminem was, inspired by Tretch.
I'm pretty sure Eminem was inspired by Cage.
No, it was Tretch. He even says.
No, listen to Cage's early albums before Eminem threw out his albums. Even Cage called Eminem out on that, and then Eminem responded, "I'll bite your motherfucking style just to make it fresher."
Yeah, and he said, "I bought Cage's tape, opened it, and dubbed over it." He was fucking with him a lot.
You're admitting that you're biting.
No, he literally was fucking with him. I don't know if he was actually.
You may be doing that, but at the same time, there's evidence that Cage's flow and style originated before Eminem. So when Eminem came out, Eminem was even flowing like that.
Yeah, he was. What? Infinite? Well, I only started on Infinite, so that's when I started on Eminem. So.
I never started.
Actually, no, I started with Eminem on Marshall Mathers LP, but I also found Infinite. So either way. You're both you're both garbage.
How it just
you're both garbage. Like, it's just admit you're trash, and I'm the best here at hip hop. All right?
No, not at all.
Sir, you're cooning right now.
Exactly. I was about to say it. I was about to say the same thing. You're cooning for Eminem. Why?
You're cooning for Eminem and then saying that you're the best.
I'm not. Hold on now. I'm not cooning for Eminem. I'm just saying that my tastes are better than both of y'all.
Right.
No, not at all.
No, I'm not validating the white person. I'm saying in general my tastes are better. Okay.
No, it is.
And like I said, what I hate is that Eminem does something. He'll be. Remember when he did that one freestyle dissing Trump, and people were like, all the black celebrities like, he stood up for us. I'm like, Joey Badass did a whole album about that stuff. And y'all just Eminem.
The critical reception to that was actually
Freddie Gibbs and MF Doom has a whole visual about the assassination of Trump, literally with him being shot by a sniper.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah,
it was crazy. and nobody was jumping up for joy. The problem is black people love to like they need a white person to validate their greatness.
I was about to say the same thing, and it's
And
sad because it's go on.
yeah, and like I'm just not with that shit. So when I hear white people, uh, when it comes to hip hop, like I'll absolutely say, whether they're good or they're great, but I'm not ascending. I'm not like, no, I don't need a white person to come into my shit in my house and
Yes,
validate my culture. Like
thank
I
you,
ain't having that shit. I ain't having that
thank
shit
you.
at all.
Like I say, a white person, a white artist, or whatever, they can be great for a white person.
Right.
That's it. They
Right.
could be you could. Eminem is a great rapper. Eminem raps great for a white rapper.
Right.
Awesome. But I can name several black rappers that will out rap Eminem, but ain't nobody trying to hear that because they were, there's our special, there's our special white man right there.
I mean,
Right.
I don't know about all that. Do you guys pay attention to the conversation around Eminem? It's not positive at the moment. It hasn't been positive for a very long time.
And I'm glad.
The only people
I'm glad that people are starting to realize that
the
he's
only
not that
people
special
who
at
think
all.
Eminem is like still the top are people who wear Skechers, unironically. Like,
oh no, I know quite a few black people who love Eminem, and including my uncle. And I'm like, yo, come on now.
can you see it? Can you see it? Yeah. Don't worry, it's
Like I
it's
said,
different on my screen, so it looks like you're pushing at the border, so it doesn't matter.
Look, I put DMX in my top 5 because, as far as I'm concerned,
wow.
as an artist, you have to have the entire package to be.
He really
I
likes
need to be
DMX.
able to.
I don't
Yeah, I do.
understand that part, but I like DMX too.
Why not? Why not?
I like DMX.
DMX
as a hype
is a
beast.
great songwriter. I would say he's lyrical. Now nowadays, no, he's falling off.
No, he's a good hype beast, but when it comes to actually like
My baby
songs,
mama be bugging. All right, like,
oh man, profound shit. But no, I mean, like I like blood of my blood, flesh of my flesh. What you call it? And then there was X. I like those albums. What was it? Undisputed, something fucking, I don't fucking remember his album names. Okay, the point is I like X as more of a hype beast, but when it comes to more
well, I look at DMX as like a Tupac. I actually compare him to Tupac, where their lyrics, even though I prefer DMX over Tupac, their lyrics, they're simple on paper, but they make you you resonate with them.
I don't like Tupac at all, so that's fine. But
Both of you guys are trash.
First of all, you like Tupac, so we already see where you're headed. Go ahead, say Tupac's the greatest. Say he's number 1 or number 2.
Well, no, Tupac is a great performer, but I don't think he's that spectacular as a lyricist.
He's not number 1 or number 2, but I will absolutely not deny his greatness.
Oh yeah, sure, he's a good
and I won't argue with anybody else who thinks that he's the greatest because I absolutely understand. Now, what I don't understand is this DMX commentary. There's a couple of reasons why he will never ever be considered the greatest.
Is it that lyric where he talks about raping a 15-year-old girl?
No. It has nothing to do with like him, like a particular instance. It's just I'm just talking about his career. Now, I don't think anybody was as great as DMX was at his peak. I think he was probably the most successful rapper, maybe in hip hop history at his peak. But that peak did not last long at all. Like
I agree.
At all. Like at all. He probably had he probably had like a 5-year run. But during that 5-year run, the nigga was absolutely invincible. Like he was bigger than Jay-Z, he was bigger than Nas, he was bigger than all of those people. You know what I'm saying? But it just didn't last long enough. The other thing is just lyrically, he's elementary. Like there's no complexity.
So is Tupac.
Right. But again, his peak was, I mean, it's comparable, but he died. So like the longevity piece matters a great deal to me when you talk about the greatest of the greats. right? Like you
Okay,
have to
but would
have.
Tupac still be relevant if he was,
I don't know.
still
I
alive?
don't know.
I
I
highly
don't know.
doubt that because
My answer's no.
DMX did the acting, Tupac did the acting. Now, one thing I will say, Tupac was a fantastic actor. I love Tupac as an actor. As a rapper, but as an actor, I just when I first discovered Tupac and watched his movies and I learned that he was dead, I'm like, what? I want to see more movies starring him. Like he oozed charisma and personality,
Right.
and
But as a rapper,
he was a nerd.
But I mean, hold on. As a
No,
rapper,
Tupac was a nerd. Come on.
but as a rapper, for me, Tupac is more or less. He is simplistic, but he wasn't. He wasn't exactly what everybody says he is. Like he's like, oh, super amazing, number one, whatever the fuck. But his song construction is one of his strongest suits. Like he was able to make songs like "To My Unborn Child," "Thug's Mansion," "Keep Your Head Up." He has great song construction, and he's got a great control over just being listenable. I absolutely think that he had a lot of control over that. When it came to, lyrically and everything, outside of the singles that, came off the albums, more or less, he's what I would consider above average, but he's not in my top 10 lyricists, which is why, that's why I wouldn't, that's why I don't talk up Tupac like that.
Right. Well, I mean, it's something to be said for his ability to create songs. You know what I'm saying? Like that is single-handedly the most important thing to being an MC.
Yeah.
Like, and so if you can master that, I would still excuse, and that's why I like DMX. You know what I'm saying? Like the fucker could make songs. He wasn't necessarily like a great lyricist, but like when X comes on, he's going to bring it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same thing with Tupac. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. I think that they're both very average. I'm not even going to put above average. I think that they're very average lyricists, but their ability to make songs are second to none. You know what I'm saying? Like,
song construction
it ain't
is
even
important.
close.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's where a lot of newer rappers struggle. Their song construction is ass. It's actually pretty bad these days. I'm like, I mean, Vince Staples is a great example of good song construction. His whole discography is like fantastic. You can go from something like Hang and Bang to 3230 to Don't Get Chipped. All different, way different sounding songs. Just absolutely great stuff. And then you got stuff.
You also have to look at these rappers' influences as well. If a rapper comes out and his influences are other trash rappers, then you should expect trash from them.
Not necessarily, but
I don't think so either.
Generally the case, but not necessarily. Like
give me an example. Give me an example of someone who has trash idols, or someone who modeled themselves after trash rappers, but they can rap very well and construct great songs.
I can't do it for you, but I'm pretty sure
I can. And I hate to call this guy's name out, but like he makes really, really, really good songs, and I hate who he looks up to. Kodak Black.
I can't co-sign you. You're on your own there, buddy. I think Kodak Black is.
He's got one song. I think when he's talking about being a sniper on the roof, that's the only song that I can listen to.
Kodak Black, when it comes to making songs, I like him. Like, I like him. I don't think that he's a great lyricist. I hate the way he sounds, but for some reason or another, he creates a super hit, like a mega hit. And they all sound really, 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 really different.
I mean, okay.
Any recommendations?
Don't listen to Kodak Black, dude.
No, I mean I've listened to him before. He wasn't my flavor aside from that one song.
I think it's
but if there was
just like even the one that he dropped right before he went to jail, the Zeke shit, like that was very, 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 very different from the one where he was talking about his head being peasy, and you know what I'm talking about.
I get what you're saying with, about listenability, but goddamn, I'm such a fan of words that I don't like Kodak Black. I don't actually like anybody.
You are not a fan of words. First of all, let me get on you real quick. How dare you disrespect Mural? How dare you disrespect Mural? Don't you ever
What?
in
Oh
your
my
life
God!
talk about that
What
you're
the fuck?
a fan of Mural?
No!
Wait, are we
I
talking
am a
about
fan.
Lupe Fiasco? Are we
Yeah,
talking
no,
about
but-
Lupe Fiasco here?
Yeah,
Yes,
okay, wait.
sir.
Okay, hold on.
Wait,
Now,
you didn't like that? You didn't like that?
no, I don't like Mural. I think Mural is a
How?
bad song. That's an example of
How?
bad song construction.
That's
Okay,
art.
okay.
That's
So
art right
why
there. I
do
love
why
that
do
song.
why do songs have hooks, breaks, interludes?
It's not that type of song, though.
It's
It's not that type of.
It's just a
Thank
whole 7-minute song straight up rapping. I don't have time to
Yes,
digest.
that's the point.
I don't have a time to digest what he's saying. There's no switch up in the beat. It's just do 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 do. I tune out after 3
It's
minutes.
poetic. It's poetry. I love
don't.
that.
What's your favorite bar? Both of you. What's your favorite bar from Mural?
All of them.
Exactly. You can't tell me because you don't know. Because the
No,
song.
I do. Where he says,
What do
black activism, when we rapping in prisons, I don't know. The shit is so wordy.
Exactly.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite bar too.
It's constructed really fucking poorly. There's no time for you to digest what was said. You can't tell me
No.
your favorite verse because it's
Listen.
all the same verse. You can't tell me the song is
listen
good.
to me. I listened to that song so many times when I first heard that shit.
Same.
I said, yo,
same.
this might be
that
one of the
and
greatest songs
that
I've
and the
ever
Pizza
heard.
Man song. That and the Pizza Man song where I
cut the
forgot
shit off
how
after
it goes
3
like da-da-da-da-da. Where it's like a drill song, and I love how everyone is flowing.
You know,
It's like a huge
me
collab.
not liking that song is interesting because one of my favorite game songs is 200 bars and running. I can listen to that shit. That's a 9-minute freestyle, and I can listen to that shit all the time.
Because you are a hypocrite and you don't know what
But
you're
that's like
talking
a diss
No!
track, though. Isn't that like a diss track?
Yeah, to Joe Budden. Yeah, that shit is godly.
Yeah, it's two. It's
But
two
there's
different types
beat-
of songs.
There's beat switches. There's switch up in the flow, like everything. Like Mural, just one flow, monotone through the whole fucking thing. Like I said, there's no time to digest things. I think Lupe Fiasco is a fantastic rapper. I'm not gonna say he's not. Like,
You're
come on.
disrespectful. Don't ever disrespect Mural like that again. That's your
I don't
problem.
understand you.
How do you not appreciate? Like you talk about digest, but Rap Genius exists. Do you listen to A$AP Rock? Do you listen to A$AP Rock?
No.
I do.
Great artist, great lyricist.
Like I said, I there's no time to digest. Like, what am I gonna pull up Genius while I'm listening to the song? I don't do that.
I because I'm such a big fan of Lupe Fiasco and I know that he's super wordy, like I look forward to seeing people do like the lyric breakdown
Yeah.
to see what I've missed, and it just highlights. And I guess, I mean, to piggyback off of what you're saying about, you know, being such a fan of words, that's why I like Mural. When they actually highlight like the double entendres and the rhyme schemes and stuff like that, like hearing it is one thing, and then seeing how it looks on paper when he's like rhyming like dense syllables, and I'm just like, fuck, this dude is incredible, man.
Oh,
like
Will, you're telling Lupe to dumb it down, essentially.
right. He, you know, the guy doesn't know what he's talking about half the time. So.
First of all, both of you do not try to tell me about The Cool, all right? The Cool is one of my favorite albums of all time. I swear to God.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
All right? Don't you ever try to tell me about The Cool, all right?
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. It's in my top 10. Don't fuck me.
No, it isn't. You like Immortal Technique. That's the type of guy you listen.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with Immortal Technique, all right?
Exactly.
Sometimes you need to be off the beat.
The one thing, like he said, he needs to stay on the beat. But that new joint, I'm not sure if you guys heard it, the one he has with R.A. the Rugged Man, love it. All right.
I don't look for him.
I will never listen to Immortal Technique. He's the corniest cornball rapper ever.
No, that's Hobson.
Him,
Don't
Jordan Lucas,
yes.
Hobson,
Yes.
And
Logic,
yes,
J. Cole,
Logic,
and J. Cole.
Super, and J. Cole. All of them are cornballs. And
No, do the right thing, man. No, take with your mind, your third eye, or some other shit.
Okay, so
no features. 20 million albums.
No one mentioned him, but I dig Drake a lot. All right,
Yeah, Drake's fine.
I think Drake is dope.
I think Drake's fine.
I think he's dope.
I think the
I
first
think
three albums were good. Yeah.
Omerta, one of his recent songs, I think that's very poetic.
Oh, there he is.
I think he was going for
He's
a
giving the
very
disapproval face
Biggie-esque
again.
flow.
What? What's with the disapproval? Look, all
I
right.
know you.
Drake
you
had
see
his
him
run.
you see him on screen, and he got the faces. You're like, well, what I meant to say here.
No. He's doing the disapproval thing. But the thing is, Drake was good, and then he did "What a Time to Be Alive" with Future, and he's never been the same since. He's.
I've never.
I think
been
he's gotten
a fan
better.
of Drake. I think he reminds me, like, I don't like R&B hip hop.
Huh?
He's going straight freestyle before. He's going straight bars before in songs.
What?
Like,
5 a.m.
I
Toronto? What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm just
like,
not a fan. I like rugged rap. Like I like street rap. I like street dudes. I like hardcore rap. I need people being robbed, killed.
So listen to Denzel Curry.
No, you
Stop
try.
he's kind of corny though. It's kind of corny. Here's the thing: I can listen to him, but I can't listen to the lyrics. Like he's great when I'm running.
Griselda is
lyrics,
who
he's like,
my go-to.
eat him up like
Griselda.
chowder, and I'm like, what? Chowder?
Look, okay,
cartoon?
Griselda's good. Griselda is good. I like Griselda. That's that Robin Steele music. We need that.
Right. I need it. I want it. I'm in the gym. West Side Gun. I need it.
Benny the Butcher.
I need it. Conway. I need it.
Okay,
Freddie
that's
Gibbs,
fair enough.
all that, yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. I need just articulation. Actually, no.
Now there's one artist
That's a
that
lot.
you really love that I just can't get into. He makes that emo kind of rap. Like I can't dig it.
What do you?
What's his name?
I don't
Like
know.
he makes cut your wrist type rap that you
I
love.
have no idea who you're talking about.
I mean, if you like Eminem, you like that kind of stuff.
Always
What
like
the
the day
fuck?
and night.
Oh, you're talking about Cudi?
Yeah,
Cudi?
Kid Cudi. I can't.
That's
get
not
into him.
cut your
Can't get
wrist
into him.
music. That's
It is. He's depressing, man. I can't. I need to be hyped. I'm sorry. I need to be hyped when I'm in the gym.
Well, that's
so.
a different type of feel, and trust me, there's
Who
never.
would want to feel that any time of the day?
Some people who are reflecting.
Kid Cudi hasn't made music in a long time, right?
He made Kids See Ghosts. I think with
That was
Kanye.
his last one. Yeah, that was his last one.
Yeah.
Kid Cudi.
I thought it was good.
I listen to Man on the Moon 2 like every month, probably like twice. That's my favorite album of all time. But yeah, he hasn't released anything new.
Who?
Man on the Moon 2.
By Kid Cudi is your favorite album of all time.
For different reasons. Okay? It's not a lyrical thing, all right? That's just a personal thing. I love that album so much.
Okay, we gotta take your black card, bro.
I'm going to listen to it again just to make sure that I'm not missing anything, and then I am going to show you. I'm going to your favorite album. Do you know how crazy that is?
That's my favorite.
I thought the Eminem album would be your favorite, to be honest.
No. What?
No.
No.
You sure?
No, that's not.
Don't tell anybody else that, sir.
Everybody knows it's my favorite album. And it's for different reasons. It's not.
Sir, Kid Cudi is not even talented enough to be anybody's favorite anything.
That album is a classic.
But here's the way you feel about Drake, I feel about Kid Cudi. He just can't get me motivated to do anything.
Yeah.
He's
I
boring.
mean, you two are workout bros. I like to, sometimes mellow out, and yes, I like Man on the Moon 2 more than any album.
You can't even fuck the Kid Cudi though. Like
You could put on Day and Night.
no. with the white girl? With the white girl?
Dan, you put on Make Her Say. There you go. All right, that's an easy one.
No. I could put on some. What's that singer with the cane and he has a sword in his cane and R. Kelly's in the closet? What's that song?
Isley Brothers.
I can put on that. But I can't put on no Kid Cudi. All right.
I mean, why would
That's
you
a
fuck the Kid
strong
Cudi?
statement. I can't believe you said that.
What?
Like out of all the albums ever, wow.
I mean,
I say ridiculous things like that about MF Doom though. Like I'm a huge MF Doom fan.
Okay, see, we're all letting it out the closet. See, there you go. See,
there's nothing wrong with MF Doom. I think MF Doom is a good rapper.
MF Doom is good. MF Doom's good. Like, but I'm saying, look, it's not the best hip hop album or anything like that. I openly admit that. I said for personal reasons, it's my number one. All right, for personal reasons. All right, I enjoy the album more than any album.
What kind of person are you to have personal reasons like that?
Fuck y'all. Look, okay. Like I said, I think it's okay. So the real reason I love that album so much because it's a depiction of something that we don't see a lot in hip hop, and talked about in the Black community, and that's a depiction of depression. Like, and that is a whole
Depression
album.
has been spoken on before Kid Cudi.
Yeah, but it's, in my opinion, this is one of the
Biggie
most
spoke
vivid.
on depression before Kid Cudi.
Yeah, suicidal thoughts. I know. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, I know that shit. Nas, Jay, all that shit. I've listened to.
I'll listen to Biggie,
I've
but I
listened
can't
to
listen
the albums. Who are you people? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you both? Like I said, I've listened to both. Anyways, like I said, when I said that, what I mean is it is such a vivid description, like down to a T, of what depression is like. And it's
Do you struggle with depression?
absolutely not.
So why is it your favorite album?
Because I used to struggle with depression.
But why would you want to relive those feelings?
Because I like to explore those feelings.
When I go through a breakup, I'll listen to women hating songs. But after that,
Wait. I want to know. So, I mean, because obviously it deeply impacts you for it to be your. Let's get into the personal life of Trevor Clark.
The psychological aspect.
Right.
Fuck.
Why is it like the depression aspect? Why does it impact you so much?
Well, I mean, as a dark-skinned kid, I got bullied a lot for my skin tone, and it caused a lot of image issues when I was younger, right? And for Kid Cudi, when he first dropped Man on the Moon 1, this is a different motherfucker. Like, this dude's talking openly and honestly about emotions that you're told to just lock up and man up about. He's talking openly and honestly about it in Man on the Moon 1. And plus, that album was just psychedelic, jazzy vibes. Like, I loved it. So I was hyped for Man on the Moon 2. And initially, my reaction to it was like, what the fuck is this? But as you go deeper down the rabbit hole of Man on the Moon 2, as you go deeper down, I mean, the third song, after Rev of Ebb, third song in the album is Don't Play This Song. And this is where you start getting into the depression parts. And he starts talking about the feelings of feeling alone, telling people, look, if you want to hear what I'm like when I'm not on drugs, don't play this song. Basically talking about, like, he needs drugs in order to feel okay.
Is he bipolar?
No, he's just crazy depressed. Like the amount of depression he has is like a Guinness World Record. He actually did a talk. Actually, I think it was a TED Talk where
you are a fan, but keep going.
Yeah, but he did a talk in an interview, and he said he had thought about killing himself every day for 5 years. You know,
that sounds like more than depression.
That was deep depression. Like I said,
it's depression. It's depression.
So the thing is, you know, Man on the Moon 2, like, you go from don't play this song, he tells everybody, he's like, I'm tired of everybody saying that they worry about me when in fact they never gave a fuck about me. And, you know, it goes on from there. He starts talking about his marijuana use, and the rabbit hole just keeps going down, and then it has this dip upwards into the party life, you know, and this is where depression fools a lot of people, where people commit suicide and people always say they were the happiest person, always smiling. And you get to the middle of this album where he's talking about partying, fucking, being in the mood, doing all these types of drugs, like, you know, dancing with girls, all this shit. This is the upside of depression that a lot of people see on the outside. But, you know, sort of like the Robin Williams thing. Robin Williams was one of the most well-known, happy-looking people, ended up committing suicide. Like I said, all we saw on the outside was the smile. The middle of the album, Man on the Moon 2, is the smile. And then immediately after those party songs, it starts dipping way below where you were at the beginning of the album. You start going into his drug abuse on, not Mr. Rager, Maniac. You go into Maniac, where he's just talking about going crazy, paint this black hole blacker. He's talking about driving himself further and further down. And then there's Mr. Rager. You know, Mr. Rager is about drug overdose. You know, he's talking about being on the ground after the party, after Maniac. So this is still connecting to the middle of the album. He's talking about after the party, he's on the ground talking about birds singing, flying around. You never see them too long on the ground. You want to be one of them. You want to be one of them. And it actually took me a while to get this. Like, I finally revisited it, and I was like, holy shit, he's talking about flying up as in dying. You want to be one of them. Like, you want to be one of them. When does the fantasy end? When does the heaven begin? Then you start going further. Paranoia, where he talks about not trusting his friends in the end. And then he's talking about These Worries, where he actually teams up with Mary J. Blige again from Don't Play This Song. So from Don't Play This Song, he's at These Worries, and these worries are heavy. They rest on my shoulders. My body won't let me continue no more. And sometimes life is like that. Beam me up and I fly right, you know, like further and further down. And the album finally ends with Ghost and Trapped in My Mind. Ghost, where he finally talks about this dude's so depressed that he's basically invisible to everybody. This is how he feels regardless. You know, he could be in a room full of people and feel like a ghost. When did I become a ghost? And on the final part of this album, after you've just been dredged to emotional hell, he talks about, I'm trapped in my mind and I'm going crazy, but hey, it's not that bad at all. Showing resignation rather than trying to find a solution. He's saying that I'm completely content with the hell I just brought you through. I'm trapped here. The sun seems to shine when no one's looking. But hey, it plays that prank every time, I believe was the lyric. But that album, that last song, it's so lighthearted. It's so springy and upbeat. You're like, whoa, he's talking about being trapped in this hellhole that I just spent like an hour in. And then the album just ends. And to me, that was just a vivid depiction of like what I was going through and what like a lot of other people were going through. Obviously, what? Not the drugs or the girls, not anything like that. But everything else, like it's how I felt at the time. Just not the drugs.
Okay. That was beautiful. I'll drag you about it later.
Fuck you. Look, I know that album inside and out. I understand the album. Anyways, you can't drag me about that.
It's just a weird choice. That's all.
You're
like, I'm not gonna front you because I'm trying to think what is my favorite album. I really don't think I have. Oh, you know what?
You don't even have one. Look at you.
I'm thinking because I'll go.
Garbage.
I know I have one song. Oh, you know what?
What's your
Exhibit.
favorite?
I think it's an Exhibit album. I don't know the name. I forgot the name of it, but it has front to back on it. So
that is definitely Restless.
Yeah, that's why I think it's Restless.
Yes.
I think front to back's on it. That one Eminem joint, which I actually thought he was decent on.
Yeah, that's Restless. That's Restless.
That's Restless. Yeah, Restless. One of my favorite albums. Exhibit, definitely top 5. Rapper for me. And I think he's a very strong lyricist. Well, he was a very strong lyricist back then. Now it seems like he's just coasting through songs, especially with the whole serial killers group that he did with Dimrick and Be Real.
I can't look at the screen. I'm sorry.
What? You don't think Exhibit's a strong lyricist?
Oh no, I absolutely do. But top 5.
Top 5. Well, okay, I'll name off my top 5. All right. Lupe's in there.
Okay.
Exhibit's in there. All right.
Okay.
DMX is in there, and I know y'all gonna be looking at me, but DMX is in there for like you put Kid Cudi in yours. I put DMX in mine.
No, I said
DMX. I'm slipping. I'm falling. I can't get up. Like, okay, but here's the thing. DMX as an artist, a lot of his music has gotten me through some hard times. So I will put him. I'm gonna put him up there.
This is just your personal top 5, like not lyricists.
This is personal.
Okay, good. 5. Okay, I was about to say, I was like, what the fuck?
Top 5.
What are you looking at?
I mean, if I were to put lyrics, if I were to focus on lyricism, then again, it depends on how do you define lyricism? How do you
I don't know.
guys define lyricism?
Everybody has
Because if you ask me about lyricism, I think that DMX was a strong lyricist. Now his rhymes may be on paper, but how he conveyed and put them in.
Well, he's gone.
Okay, he's dead. I think the gods just knocked him out.
Right. All right. So I'll give you my top 5, and then I'll give you maybe my top 5 lyricists. No order. Nas.
Damn, Zoom.
Nas would be up there.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z.
Right. They have to be in there.
All right. Nas, Jay-Z.
No, they do not.
LL Cool J.
The hell?
Yeah.
I can see it.
That's it. This is a personal top 5.
I mean, just I'm thinking about. I'm going through my criteria of
how do y'all not have this? Like,
greatness.
Oh, Papoose.
Oh yeah, Papoose definitely is in there. Yeah, definitely. That's his top 5.
I wouldn't put him top 5, but
no.
like I would.
You know what?
Cassidy.
I'm not going to give you my 5 greatest because I just don't know. But I can definitely hand you my lyricist top 5. So
and Lupe's number 1.
Yep, number 1 is Lupe.
I knew.
Number 2 is Royce the 5'9". Number 3 would be MF Doom. Number 4 would probably be Black Thought or Pharoah Monch. And number 5 would probably be Andre.
Right.
No Talib Kweli.
Uh,
I was just thinking that. I was like, but let me see. My top 5.
I honestly will put Talib Kweli before Andre 3000.
My top 5 is Ghostface Killer, Jay Nas, and we're gonna
lyricist.
No, I said my top 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ghostface Killer.
Okay.
Ghostface Killer is number 1. He's just favorite rapper. Period. You're a Wu stan. Shut the hell up. All right.
I am, but it's just weird.
I don't know if I put him top 5.
I love Ghost. I love Ghost. I mean,
and he's the last fucking Wu-Tang member making consistent albums every couple years. So,
yep.
Anyways,
yeah, but top 5.
My top 5. He's number 1. So, Ghostface, the Wallaby champ in this bitch. Don't make me get the strength of 10 midgets in this bitch. All right, now, anyways, back. All right, let's see. So I have Jay and Nas, obviously, and then I would have to say, who would be my last 2? Kendrick, and then
really,
yeah. Oh, Kendrick is disgusting. I love Kendrick. I love his everything.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say Kendrick Lamar. Okay, we were talking personal, but I wouldn't call Kendrick Lamar a strong lyricist.
You're on your own. All right, and then the 5th one.
What?
And the 5th one.
Okay, so here's the thing. Okay. I just want to say
5th one would
Lamar
be
is.
Yeah, I gotta go with Danny Brown.
You
Danny
lost me.
Brown is your number 5.
I could accept Kendrick Lamar, but dude, Danny Brown is.
You know how many times I listened to Atrocity Exhibition? I can't.
XXX is a dope album, but it's like Danny Brown is
just entertaining as hell. Like, honestly.
Yeah, he's entertaining. He's entertaining, but
he's super good. Like, I think he slept on lyrically too. So it's not. Yeah, no. Atrocity Exhibition stops all that. Your favorite rapper can't rap on Ain't It Funny, and you know it. So
I'm trying to think about my lyricists. I want to be Cool G rap in there somewhere. Take somebody out.
I like how we went from cooning to hip hop, but this is important.
Cooning exists in hip hop, so
yeah, no.
Eminem fans.
Okay, but
I would definitely put Crooked Eye on my.
No, first of all, people who say some crazy shit like, DMX is in my top 5. There is this. Are coons.
Yeah. Here's the thing. There are different factors. For me, there are different factors to being a lyricist, all right? You can write all these lyrical, spiritual raps. If I don't feel them
look at him
or
spitting
if
bars.
they don't resonate with me, then I don't consider you a strong lyricist in my book. To other people, you might be fly, but
I guess that makes sense.
For me, lyricism, and I think the criteria is different for everybody. Like,
yeah,
one, storytelling is a big part of my lyricism category. Like,
Absolutely.
if you can't tell a story and destroy it and have me see that picture in front of me while you're telling that story, then you're not a great lyricist. And then you have the technical ability, just putting words together,
Right.
creatively, wordplay, and all that good stuff. And then you have the relatability, and that's important too. And that's why I actually prefer like conscious rappers over people who are not so conscious. Like DMX will never be in my top 5 because of that, and Tupac will always be way ahead, even though like they're kind of the same person. But like Tupac speaks to my soul, X doesn't.
Yeah, but DMX speaks to my soul. The darkness of DMX speaks to my soul.
You know what type
And
of
I
dude
would,
he is, so.
but if we're talking about conscious rap, then I will put Ice Cube as my top 1.
I like Ice Cube.
Ice Cube I'm definitely a big fan.
All right, I like Ice Cube.
Yeah,
I think he's the only gangster rapper that even though he's a gangster. He was under that label, but I've always felt like he was conscious as well. Like,
oh yeah,
I know it's not called Big Black
absolutely.
Boots, but I forgot the Stomping in My Big Black Boots. I love that track.
When I Get to Heaven is my favorite Ice Cube track.
Like he's unfiltered. Like Ice Cube is my Eminem. If I need something raw and gritty and just no filter at all, I go to those old Ice Cube songs.
I wouldn't.
Horny Little Devil was a good one as well. It is racist, but for this, if we're going as well, I'm not sure if you've heard about Ask X.
He sounds like he's underwater.
No, it sounds like he's speaking through a fan. Nope, he's dead. He's dead. Oh shit. Damn, it's getting late. We should really get back on topic so we can fucking wrap this up so I can go to bed. Either way, your top 5 is okay, but
oh man, what the world happened?
Oh, see, now you froze too. Lord.
No, I'll be back. Think. Hold on. All right, here we go.
There we go. Yeah, storytelling is a big part for me because I love stories. So that's why Ghostface is my number 1. I mean,
I get it.
No better a storyteller than him.
So, there is, but he's up there.
Yeah, I will argue that to death. But no, I mean, he's obviously in the top, like, storytellers.
Right. 2 or 3, but Nas is better at storytelling.
Fair enough. Right.
Like, Nas, when he did that rewind shit, that sealed the deal for me.
Oh my fucking God.
That sealed the deal for me.
Stop with the fucking... Do you know any other albums? Do you know any other...
Are you talking to me?
Do you know any other albums?
You know you're not talking to another person that's 29 and 30, right? You know you're talking to me, right? Like, I literally grew up through that whole era.
Okay, so do you know...
Is Goldwill being schooled right now?
Okay, so do you know any songs off of Godson?
Yes, the Get Down is one of my favorite Nas songs.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, good. Okay, fair enough. Okay. What about Street's Disciple?
Yes, I love all of his music.
Okay.
Like, and see, the thing is, like, for me, I like the music before then. Like Illmatic and not Stillmatic, excuse me.
Illmatic,
It Was Written was my favorite.
Yeah.
It's my favorite album.
But the thing is, here's how I feel about Nas fans, all right? This is Illmatic and It Was Written to y'all. Y'all just pull this shit out all the fucking time. This is the golden album. I'm like, yo, why don't y'all listen to any of the other albums that are
No, but good? Godson was good. Stillmatic was great.
Yeah.
Hip Hop Was Dead was okay.
Most of his beats are just dated.
Right.
I think Hip Hop Is Dead is getting better with each passing year. Still,
I like I like the intro with Jay Electronica on the beat.
Yeah.
Woo wee.
I mean, that whole album is extremely good. Most people do
Right.
not give it the credit it deserves. In from 2009 was not bad at all. I love
was
Project
okay.
Rote, Fried Chicken. Sly Fox is just
Right. Sly Fox was amazing.
that was a great takedown because they deserve
Right.
it. What you call it? And Life is Good. I still have that album in rotation. Just
Right.
amazing album. Nazir. I'm sorry, it happened. I'm sorry.
So for me, his third best album ever is Lost Tapes, though.
The
Like
actual Nostradamus.
no, Lost Tapes was it had do rags on it.
Yeah.
It
No,
had
that's the real version of Nostradamus.
okay.
Nostradamus is the leak.
Right.
Yeah, that's why everybody was like, "Oh, this album's ass," and then he released Lost Tapes. That's the real version of Nostradamus. Do
Right.
rags is
Nostradamus did have Shoot 'Em Up on there though, and I love that joint.
right. Yeah, I like the title track. Nostradamus is actually a good track. Don't shoot me. I love that beat. Fuck, it was a good beat. Nasty Nas the Escobar. Now he is Nostradamus.
That was corny.
I loved it. I'm sorry. Now he is that beat bangs, bro.
Yes, please. I'm
right.
finally eating dinner.
Finally, it's only 10 o'clock.
It's not. Yeah, it's like 11 o'clock. I thought.
Yeah, it's 10:56. It's 11. So yeah, all right. So let's get back to the topic at hand. You've both exposed yourselves as terrible, so that's fine.
I think my hip hop prowess trumps both of you guys, and it's all good.
I mean, you've been on this planet longer, a lot
Right.
longer. So
Please.
yeah.
First of all, that's a lie, but we'll cover that some other time, maybe. So, anyways, back to we went through the consequences of Coon. That's a godlike name. So now let's go on to the solution. How do we solve Coons besides euthanasia? Just we can't eliminate the Coons yet.
Right. I mean, ultimately, I think it's up to us for like redemption, because
Right.
like it's really easy for Black people to write off and to cancel coons because of how hurtful they are. So I think it starts with the community first. You know what I'm saying? Like being willing to accept them for who they are and to attempt to try to get them to understand that, like, look, your behavior, your messages are absolutely destructive. Now, how we go about doing that, I don't know, man.
It's because re-education of these types of people is pretty hard, because
Right.
a lot of the times they don't accept evidence unless it's directly in front of their face. Again, I was listening to Brandon, what the fuck his name is, whatever. Brandon Tatum. There we go. Brandon Tatum. I was listening to him today, and he was saying he doesn't like how a lot of people are being labeled a racist. He was like, oh, that person got called a racist, but he wasn't wearing a KKK hood or anything like that, so I didn't see it. And, this kind of speaks to the whole idea of plausible deniability of what we see in front of us. Oh, he wasn't wearing a KKK hood, or he didn't have a Nazi tattoo on his fucking face, so how could he be a racist? You're just being, delusional. A lot of these people, the coons, are more or less willing to just actively dismiss reality in front of their fucking face. So rehabilitation of them is not an easy process, as much as we correct them on you. That's another thing. Their ignorance isn't just like something they like doing. It's clear to like everybody with eyes. Okay, this is how they make their money. So
very willful, like purposely.
Yeah.
Willful.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like, this isn't just something, because I refuse to believe someone like Diamond Silk is actually, no, I think they're just a lost cause. That might be the only one that's actually lost. Like, we can't bring them back. They got kicked off of Fox News. Those two might actually be lost. But people like Candace Owens constantly get, told what they're saying is wrong. you know, and as long as this is still a bag for them, you know, this is something that she's going to keep doing. So I guess the solution would probably be deplatforming.
How can you deplatform something that you don't own?
Right. And
She's
then
on the white.
also,
She is on the white man's platform. So that's why I meant to say to you in our messengers. I was like, you can debate someone all you want, but if their fan base is still like, woo, it's like Cassidy versus Disaster, right? Cassidy came in, he had his old entourage, and every time he would say a line, his hype men would just like, whoa, that was
Yeah, no
so.
matter how
And
cornball he was.
Disaster had no choice but to go, oh no. Yeah, he had a whole bunch of corny lines and threw Disaster off his game, and Disaster was forced to say, you're not going away. I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah, Cassidy lost the fucking Arsenal. Like, just get the fuck out of here. How do you do that? Anyways,
he was out of his league in that one. Yeah.
Arsenal is way below Disaster, but then again, he beat him, so I don't know. But anyways,
wait. Didn't Arsenal beat Disaster? I thought
yeah, Arsenal beat him, but
here's
still,
the Arsenal is willing to get grimy. Like Disaster is just stock value.
yeah,
You know?
but then Arsenal also.
So I can't put Disaster. I think Disaster and Arsenal are near the same level.
Yeah,
as battle rap.
But yeah, nah, but we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, we don't own the platform that she's on. She's on the Blaze, right? If I'm remembering correctly, I think so. No, she's with
I have no idea.
Turning Point USA, which is funded by some sort of right wing like oligarch motherfucker with a lot of money.
but even still, these people have social media accounts.
Right.
Like after they get their platform, you can't take these people off of social media, and they probably have hundreds of thousands of people following them there. So there's really no way that you can like eliminate their voice or even try to lighten their voice. It makes me think about and I'm jumping around, but me and my high school coach were getting into it today, and basically they were did you see the article about the Band-Aids? They're supposed to be having like a spectrum of different Band-Aid colors, like going from very fair skin to darker skin, and you can kind of like
when Band-Aids were originally invented,
right.
They were just for white people.
And so basically, my coach had commented on one of my friends' pages and was just like, this is all great, but what are we doing for ourselves, essentially? And it really reeked of like a black on black crime like argument. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I asked him to be clear and basically validated what I was thinking about his commentary. Basically, like, look, we need to figure out things that we can do to heal ourselves. And basically I saw red at that point. One, because he has a ton of influence. And two, he's much older than I, and kids look up to him, and he's an entrepreneur now. He does home improvement, so he has a platform and a voice that can influence the way people think. And so I took it as my opportunity to challenge him, from being his most successful athlete that he's ever coached, and just really challenging his thought process on that type of commentary. First, I told him, I said, and I wish I could pull it up while we're on Skype, but like I said, I really do not understand the motive of somebody who tries to find a solution by bringing up other problems.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And I was just like, I really question the motive. And then I also said, white supremacy has been so successful within our community that we adopt its own strategies as solutions. That's what white people do to us, when it comes to like situations like police brutality. They bring up stuff like black on black crime. One doesn't have anything to do with the other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're two completely different situations, but you try to deflect and excuse what's going on there and try to divert that attention elsewhere. That's not what we're talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? Please focus on the oppression. And then I basically left him with a few questions that he would not answer. I said, if you're so hell-bent that improvement is a viable solution to oppression, can you tell me whether or not when we had our shit together during Black Wall Street, in Durham, in Philadelphia, where all of these thriving Black communities, did that escape, oppression? Did oppression escape those places? He never answered that question. I said, when we were enslaved and we were obedient, and the only thing, our only functions were to survive and to be slaves for free labor, and we didn't have to worry about internal struggles. Did we have to worry about oppression then? It was at their peak when we were self-reliant, when we were at our best as a people, as a community, cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
White supremacy was at its peak. You know what I'm saying? So I really struggle with Black people who coon and that adopt these same rhetoric when it comes to solutions for us. And I just dude, you're not helping. You're literally being a white person right now. I don't want to have it. And so it gets very personal because, you don't expect that from somebody who looks like you because they're supposed to understand.
Right.
And they just don't get it. And where does that shit come from? And it just kind of doubles back to the creation of the coon.
Yeah.
They get that stuff navigating through those systems. And I stand firmly on that.
Oh, he's got the checklist. No, I think, what you call it? Yeah. And a lot of that mindset is, as I said, they ask questions or they pose questions that they themselves don't want to answer or feel like you should answer. Oh, what should we do for ourselves? It's why don't you answer that question? What do we do for ourselves? And they'll say some dumb shit like self-improvement. Okay, what type of self-improvement? What type of self-improvement fixes a fucking policeman seeing me as a threat? What type of self-improvement? Well, you just gotta follow the law. What law do I follow to stop them from shooting me while I have no gun?
Right.
They're shooting us with our hands up, lying on our back, and for calling them. So
yeah, and I don't know why the hell they did that. That was actually a social worker with a mentally ill patient, and they shot him while he was on the ground with his hands up. And then he asked why they shot him. He said, I don't know. I was like, what do you mean you don't know? You pull,
just sprinkle some Coke on him.
He didn't die, thankfully. But still, he was shot. I'm pretty sure I was like, well, what the fuck, dude? That, again, you could have injured the patient, and more importantly, you could have killed that man. But yeah, the solution to something like this is probably not going to be us bludgeoning them to death with a book written by Malcolm X or somebody prominent with good ideas. There's probably.
Are you suggesting that we should kill them too, along with the white people?
No.
Are you sure? Because Harriet Tubman might have.
She would have definitely shot the motherfuckers. But that's not the thing. The thing is, I think the idea would be to fortify our side. Because the idea is, let's just think of them as bad teachers. Bad teachers who teach shit that you're going to take into the real world that you just don't need, like the Pythagorean theorem. What the fuck? So let's just think that people with the platforms as bad teachers, and we on our side have to actually disseminate information that's actually useful and able to, what would I say, reteach, retool, relearn people who listen to these people. Because you're not going to get Candace Owens off that fucking soapbox. You're not. But you could probably reach the people she's talking to. So we would probably have to, on our side.
Okay, but the people she's talking to are going to agree with her regardless if they're talking to her for a certain period, if they're listening to her for a certain period of time.
Right. Radicalization. And you can stop radicalization. You absolutely can stop that. You could also reform people as well. Like I said, those people are lost, and now they're trying to, lose other people. But probably on our side, we could push, I don't know, what the hell can we possibly be a counter message to cooning? I mean, other than, hey, stop saying shitty things about our community, but obvious. I mean, how many times do we have to bring up black on black crime is not a thing?
Right.
It's like you kill people you're in proximity to. I mean, this is
Yeah, but with Candace Owens, she's arguing that black people are not a monolith, and these people are using you. It's very smart if you think about it, but it's like I can see how a lot of people would fall for her rhetoric.
Well, what I was saying to myself while I was listening to Brandon Tatum is, that sounds really smart if you're fucking stupid. Like what she said, like what they were saying is like, oh man, if you weren't paying attention, that might have actually sounded intelligent. So we need.
Yeah, but the average person is not going to read between the lines.
Exactly. Like what he was saying was a bunch of garbage answers to questions. He said slavery had a racial component, but it wasn't racist. And then the guy who was interviewing him said, well, there weren't any white slaves, you know, like there really weren't any white slaves. Like, so, and it kept going on, black people being enslaved. So how do you explain that? Well, there were slaves all around the world and slavery was legal. So that, and I was like, this may sound smart to a stupid person.
Right. And I mean, again, it just, a general statement will say slavery is about capitalism, which is true.
Right.
It's the absolute truth. Mm-hmm. But at the same token, like who's subjugated to the capitalism?
What's the capital? Yeah.
Right. Who or what? And in this case, it's who.
Exactly.
It's never supposed to be who. It's supposed to be what, but it wound up being who. And then that's where the racial component comes in there.
Exactly. And it ended up being just one race. And he's like, that's not about racism. It's like, at this point, you could tell he's doing this shit because it gets him money. Because there's literally, he has 600,000 subs on YouTube, and his videos get decent amount of views. Not, 500K views. I watched his video enough with the anti-white narrative, and he did the Gish Gallop bullshit where he went to at least 6 different topics, and he just, and again, this sounds smart if you're stupid. So, it can't just be discussions with us. That's the thing.
Right.
Because we understand the shit, right? And people with a passing common sense could probably figure it out. But it's the people who are struggling to figure out which side in between. There needs to be a way to reach them, tell them, look, that person is he's cooning. He's trying to lead you to line his pockets while emptying your mind. That's the way I see it.
Oh.
But I struggle with how we could do that. Exactly what way can we like what way is there that there isn't already, like Google is at your fucking fingertips. Literally everybody has a smartphone.
I don't know, man. Like I literally, I mean, like that rhetoric is actually a majority. It has to be, because you got to think about who's in office with the president. Like the president didn't just get there on happenstance. You know what I'm saying? Like there's millions and millions and millions and millions of people who believe and encourage, a Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like, so I just, and I hate to have the defeatist mentality, but I just don't think that there's a way to, to deafen something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it has to happen, like, in order for it to survive. Like, you would have to get rid of all Republicans, literally, in order for it, because, and that's just not going to happen, because, the bipartisan political system has to remain a thing. You know what I'm saying? So
it's like, and the conservative mindset often sees the things the way they do, and I think it's a long shot, a very long shot. The start would be in our governing bodies.
Right. I'm okay with that.
The thing is, because I had said this couple years back, and I criticized people who always said this to me is a really weird statement. People say Obama did nothing for black people, and I was like, I don't remember Obama being elected to the NAACP, but what I do, oh, he's waiting. Whoops, gotta admit him. There we go. But what I do remember is that a black man against pretty much every odds ever in this country made it to the highest office in the land. So
right.
why wasn't there a black wave of people applying for like city council, treasurer, this, that, and third? When they say he didn't do anything, I was like, he was literally your fucking template sitting there waiting for you to emulate him. And you know, now this feels to me like it is a very broad statement, and I'd have to check the numbers to see how many black people are treasurers, how many black people are councilmen, sheriffs, all that other shit, mayors, senators, state senators. But to me, I mean, the rhetoric's still going on that black people are lazy and that we're still like we ain't shit. So it doesn't seem like we had that much of a black push towards taking over the government. That's basically what it is. We gotta. There's one black senator in the Republican Party. I'm fairly certain there are more black conservatives that exist. I mean, that party's white as shit.
So here's my thing. I absolutely agree with you. I had this conversation, and it's weird because you're saying things, and I talk about this stuff a lot, and you know that I talk about this stuff on social media a lot too.
Right.
I absolutely agree with you on representation. You know, I'm big on that. Like, if he didn't do anything, his presence there
alone
is
is
more than enough for him. Like, he could have actually done nothing at all for black people, and that would have been enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Just to know that inspiration. I remember seeing, and I shared a picture of him, like almost squatting down, and a little black kid eyes were like lit up, and was like, man, like that was so powerful for me. Like, and I could only imagine what that kid was thinking. Like, damn, this dude looks just like me. He's the most important person in the world
right now.
You know what I'm saying? And so again, that is more than enough. Now, to your point about politics, it's better than ever. It's actually, I do know the statistics on that. Prime example would be Stacey Abrams, right? She was supposed to be the first black female governor of Georgia, but voter suppression did her in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I remember that bullshit.
Right. And I'm still mad because I love that lady. You know what I'm saying? I love everything that she represents.
Fierce fighter.
Right. And then you have nutcases like Andrew Gilliam, who just shot himself in the foot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have the people out there, but like black politicians, black people in politics is still a very new thing for our community. So I don't think that we're as polished. And like another friend of mine, actually, we were talking about politics and grooming Black America to be politicians, and he told me that UVA actually has a curriculum where they if you want to get into politics, like they have a whole curriculum for that exclusively. I've never even heard of anything like that before.
Interesting.
Could you imagine if Norfolk State or Hampton had something like that? If you wanted to be a politician, they would have like a whole curriculum to groom you to get what you need to get out of it, and then go on to be, like you said, a senator or a treasurer or a city councilman and stuff like that. We don't have programs. We don't have the experience. We don't have the legacy or the lineage, because a lot of those people, those kids who are in the politics and stuff like that, their parents were. We don't have that shit. Like, I train Stephanie Morales. She is the Attorney General Prosecutor of Portsmouth, right? And she's the first black woman to do that shit. And here's another fun fact. She is the first person to successfully convict a police officer for killing an unarmed black person. And I trained that lady.
That's good.
Right, and she's right here in Portsmouth. But like, she's a first generation politician, but she's telling me like, look, I'm going to encourage. She has 4 children. I am going to encourage one of my kids to continue to carry the torch, because not only do I speak on behalf of my family, more importantly, I speak on behalf of Black people.
Right.
There was a white woman wouldn't have did what she did. Period.
Not at all. No. There's just too many. Like, white people in general, while some are meaning well, I don't believe they understand the extent to what police do to Black neighborhoods. And
Right.
hell, I mean, like I said, when I was a bootlicker, I also didn't understand. And then I saw, like, you see this shit on the fucking TV. It's clear as day to anybody with eyes. You know, they're attacking peaceful protesters with rubber bullets that are quote unquote less lethal rounds. Fun fact, you're shooting me with something that can still kill me, so that's fun.
Right. Breaking flesh, putting eyes out, all kind of shit.
Yeah, so they're shooting peaceful protesters, and then I just saw that fucking Confederate rally shit or whatever the fuck. Police are way the fuck back. They're not antagonizing them at all.
Right.
They're letting them walk by peacefully because they got guns.
Well,
You run it, or the rallies for the reopening the government. They have guns and they're in their fucking face screaming at them.
well,
I ain't seen nothing pop off. And you see this shit and you call this out and they're just like, well, it's because they're rioting and looting. Obviously, there's a difference. I was
well.
like, no, you know the difference. They're agitating that shit. You already know that. And I think that's the thing. It's gonna be a top-down breakdown. It's got to come from the government, because right now our government is still incredibly white.
Right.
Very much so. There has to be a Black takeover of the government. And the thing is, it can't just come from areas like this, like Virginia Beach and whatnot. And this is weird to say, but it has to come from the hood too. Like, oh, God damn it, George. Fuck, dude is dead. But no, it has to come from the hood.
No, absolutely.
It has to come from people there.
Right. If you think about, and I hate to do this to suburban and middle class Black America,
Go
but
for
like,
it. I can take it.
right. I mean, I come from there too. So
Okay.
I'm talking about myself. Like, the essence of Black culture is in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In order for Black people to survive, we have to assimilate into white American culture, whether it's education, whether it's Fortune 500 company. Like, we don't own anything. So we have to play the part. The hood doesn't play any parts. It stays what it is, and it's Black. And so, like, to your point, if we could, groom some people that are from, projects, work their way up, and be able to share those experiences and speak on behalf of not only just, middle class taxpayers. I want to speak on behalf of poverty too, because there's way more people who don't have anything than there's people who's making, $25 an hour. Way more.
Way more.
Way
Absolutely.
more. So, and that shit is important, man. Like,
oh, you gotta be admitted again. Yeah, like that's the thing. They have to the hood, and I know you've seen the meme before, where it said the hood under Clinton, the hood under Bush, the hood under Obama, the hood under Trump, and it's all the same picture and whatnot. And I'm like, for me, I'm internally screaming, you should be looking to change that. I'm not talking about some personal accountability bullshit like brush your teeth every day and the streets will be clean. I'm talking about y'all should take control. It's not the president. It's not the president's job. Like, you could take control of your neighborhoods and start from the bottom up and start a top-down change. Like, of course, there's still things like the Department of fucking Education being run by a witch. That's unfortunate. But
but all of that stuff, you start locally. Like, we don't need to be the president of the United States.
Right.
If we're the mayor and the city treasurer and the head of the local school district or whatever,
the
you can completely change it. Yeah, you can completely change the landscape for your city.
Mm-hmm.
Completely.
That's actually the thing. And I mean, you'd be able to change that bullshit where black kids are punished way more than white kids for school infractions.
Uh,
Yeah, like
right.
you'd be able to change that pretty easily. George, are you speaking? He has been setting up for the last 3 hours. Okay. Your sound's not on. Oh, is no, you're not. Okay, yeah, you're barely there. You sound like you sound like under a carpet.
Can you hear me? I'm here.
Yeah, now I hear you. Now I hear you.
All right, because I kept trying to get in, and whenever I got in, there was no sound at all.
Right, I would see
So
that.
I just kept entering, and then now I'm using my phone. I'm so close to the screen. I feel claustrophobic right now.
Man, look, I have actual claustrophobia. You don't feel shit. Anyways, we were just talking about.
You have so much going on. Like I feel sorry for you, bro.
Have you ever been actually like put in a chest? That shit is scary.
Like against my will, or
An actual like chest. Like I've been basically essentially in a coffin before. It was pretty scary.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to get a therapist.
No.
Yes.
Man on the Moon too.
No,
therapy
you
is
need a
good
fucking
for
therapist.
the black. Wait. So what did I miss? Is it all over? Like
Pretty much.
No, yeah, we were just talking about the solutions, and we were basically talking about while there is technically no solution to coons. Oh, sorry, professional coons. Regular coons, maybe they might turn back. They're not making money. Fuck those guys. I mean, they're
Right.
not making money, so there's no point in being stupid. So there's a chance that they can actually like change. But professional coons, we've pretty much decided that there's no way to beat that. So what we were talking about is there needs to be a top-down change to the government, essentially. And where it starts is locally. You know, elections, council, treasury, superintendent, sheriff.
they'll allow you to elect people that will actually change the black community in charge.
I mean, I think we can. Like, they actually have to, be the ones to do the change because there's a lot of things that are handled on the federal side, but locally, a lot of these people are very important.
Super important.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of state power. So grabbing up local elections is actually probably one of the better ways because it would be a more passive effect of basically dissolving the coon with sunlight because their rhetoric is that black people ain't shit. I mean, they say it with different words, but at the end of the day, they're gonna do the 1350 thing like all the time. And they're gonna keep saying, black people are failing in schools, and they're gonna say black immigrants are better than African Americans. I can't believe I heard that bullshit. What the fuck? That was. I was like, what the? He said Brandon Tatum again. He said black immigrants do better than African Americans.
Nobody has brought up ADOS.
You said what?
I'm surprised nobody has brought up ADOS.
Who?
ADOS, ADOS.
Who's that?
African
Oh,
African
God.
descendants of slavery.
Shut the hell up. Yeah, no, not that shit. No, we're not even doing that. We're not doing that. Not today, not ever. All right. Yeah, I can't get behind that. I was like, oh, yeah, just label myself sub-slave. How about not? I would, the thing is, my goal is to one day is just to say I'm an American. I would like to just say that. But as I said earlier to somebody, one of my friends on my post, like months ago, it's a world of labels. Ain't no use fighting them because you don't choose them anyway. So
Right.
unfortunately, this is what I got to operate under,
Right.
So, and I think what we're going to have to do to stop the professional coon from, doing the damage that they do, as long as they're still,
Self-sabotaging.
yeah, essentially. What we're going to have to do is basically start from the ground up and encouraging people to take up their local elections. It's hard. You know, not many people are very wary of the elections going on around them. The only elections a lot of people care about are Senate and president. Maybe governor, you know, the governor's third, and that's pretty much it.
I took my parents out for the first time on the 19th
Oh, or they
for
voted.
local.
There you go.
On the local one. Yep.
Right, because cities have different elections. So it's going to take a lot more of the community pushing awareness. And I know black people are fucking tired of being aware of other things that are distressing. And will probably be, you know, more or less hard pressed to like go after the mundane things like electing a new treasurer. But that's probably the only way to get the ball rolling on stopping what a professional coon can do. Because without that power to say black people ain't shit, which is all they fucking say, you know, what are they going to say next? Like, oh, now we're doing really good in schools. It's like, look, crime rate is down. What about what?
Right.
Exactly. Like, what else do you have to say? They basically live off of a treasure trove of just negative thoughts.
Right. And I mean, ultimately, if you change the educational system, and I'm talking, you know, K through 12, you completely change the landscape forever, essentially. Even if you just did it for like 4 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, those kids will go on to do and be whatever you need them to be. Which makes me think, I don't know if you guys know a whole lot about Black Wall Street, but that's exactly what they did. They took those kids and they literally placed them where positions needed to be made. You know what I'm saying? And that's insane. Like, could you imagine being born and you knowing that you're going to be a doctor when you turn 22?
What?
Like, they literally, you don't have a choice. Like, we need 10 doctors constantly on rotation. So we're going to take these 10 kids. We don't give a fuck about their background or anything like this. We're going to groom these people to be doctors.
That's interesting.
I think that's amazing.
Right.
And that's how they created the infrastructure. Like, we need construction people. We need project managers. We need civil engineers. We need petroleum engineers because, you know, all of that. And they filled slots for places that they need, and they did a lot of outsourcing too, not necessarily from people that were native to Tulsa, but you know, if you needed a project manager, you know, you would place an ad, I guess, on neighboring cities, big cities, maybe like Dallas or Houston or something like that, and be like, look, we'll pay for you to come here for your first year. We'll, you know, pay for your travel and stuff like that. And they made sure that they had all of the critical positions that they needed to make sure that that city thrived. Like, we can do that shit now.
That's actually, you know, that's something I actually think about a lot. And let's go for a little bonus round. So Black history is known. A lot of people think of Black people were slaves and were oppressed for 400 years and whatnot. But actually, Black people are known for creating our own enclaves and surviving on our own very fucking well.
We're the best ever at that shit.
Yeah,
ever.
In fact, we were the first version of insurance in this country with the mutual aid societies, where we pooled Black money. You needed something, we got you. And then they took that idea and they privatized it, and then they made the insurance industry that's terrible. I pay $200 a month, and fucking God, I use the doctor twice a year.
Free lunch too with the Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And let's see. Then we had of course thriving neighborhoods like Detroit, which is a crater now, but Detroit used to be a thriving Black business center.
Right.
It's a crater now. And a lot of times, and the fucking tactics to destroy these places was just brutal. I mean, every time I look at a highway, I'm pissed. I'm just like, you put a highway through our neighborhoods. Why? Yep. What the fuck? Like, of all the things you could have done, you could have kicked us out into the woods or whatnot. They fucking built roads
Yeah.
because we were minding
mean-
our fucking business. What the fuck?
Listen, man, the things that you learn about history and how white supremacy gained momentum to do and to control all of this shit, man. They killed 2 million American buffaloes to starve Native Americans.
That was fucked up. I actually like animals a lot too. I still eat meat, but I like animals. And like we killed the American bison.
Yeah.
Like what the
White
fuck?
people. Extinct to almost to extinction because we wanted to run Native Americans off the land.
Yeah, like what?
Humanity does not deserve the earth. We don't.
Yeah. But I still like it here. I have a really nice microphone and my Deadpool statue. But yeah, no. Like when you learn, like, and the thing is, a lot of the education is taught in the perspective of white supremacy. Let's let's be clear. They're not teaching you about all the horrible shit they did, which is funny because they teach you about a lot of horrible shit, but they just kind of like dumb it down. It's like, yeah, the Trail of Tears. Oof, that was kind of bad, wasn't it?
I grew up thinking that the Indians were the bad people.
Yeah.
I grew up thinking, the Cowboys versus the Indians, and the Indians were the bad people. But in all actuality, the Cowboys were horrible.
Oh, yeah. The Wild West was entirely whitewashed. It told through a perspective of, again, white supremacy. Of course, Gone with the Wind's not racist. Luckily, I didn't watch that film. Thank God. But oh yeah, like things like that. Oh, Birth of a Nation's probably not racist to them either.
Right.
Like, but yeah, like it's all taught through the lens of white supremacy. You don't learn all the you don't learn actually all the contributions that black people have put into this country, other than the fact that we built it.
Right.
I guess that's something. I guess we pulled ourselves up by our slave straps.
Right. And I mean, just like even like building it, like we don't get that credit because the infrastructure, like we literally built it, but they built the infrastructure around it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just like a coach always gets the credit for the win, but it's actually the players that put in all of the legwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the thing. So do you think that with this uprising, what's happening right now, because we have 50 states full of people who are down for black people, black businesses are booming because people don't really have jobs right now, so they can go to black businesses now. Do you think that we can create another enclave, maybe secretly, one more time?
Well, so this is what I absolutely think. I think that there is going to be another Black Renaissance. I think we're in the middle of it right now because the collective consciousness of Black people, especially, like we're being more intentional in our Blackness and moving Black and doing everything Black. And I think there's a lot of good that's going to come out from it. Like I've been tagged a lot on that Blackout page. I'm pretty sure everybody's been accepted to that Blackout group where basically people were just talking about fitness trainers, like purposely wanting to just like and share fitness trainers. And like I've been tagged like 30 times in the last 2 days.
Nice.
People just want to support Black businesses. And because people are starting to wake up, you know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate because one of ours had to die in order for this type of unity, this cohesion to go about. But I welcome it. You know what I'm saying? I've always wanted this.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
it always takes, I don't want to call him a martyr. He didn't want to be a martyr. He didn't want to die.
Right.
Really, it's not about him if you think about it.
It's not.
You could have replaced him with any Black person, and the outcome would have still been the same.
Actually, so I think we got a pretty good alley-oop from the pandemic. Like I said, people were at home. It's 37.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It was the perfect circumstance.
It was the perfect storm, unfortunately, that it took a global plague, but the whole world wasn't at work 9 to 5, and they were like, you know what? They can't take this shit anymore. Like, we're in a fucking global pandemic and you're still being racist. Damn.
Right.
Like,
Gosh, could you imagine? that type of time when you
Yeah, it's like really. It's like wow. So like a lot of people. I'm pretty sure the same amount of people right now that are protesting. I'm pretty sure they were all behind us before. It's just they never had the time to get out on the streets and whatnot. Now they do. Now everybody has the time to get out. Now everybody has the time to speak up. It's the perfect storm, and yeah, we're definitely going to see a boon because of it. And I think that if anything, that's probably the greatest outcome of this unfortunate circumstance.
Right.
That's and who knows? We might see a couple new rising stars instead of Patti LaBelle making a new pop. God damn it, we lost him again. But instead of like Patti LaBelle making new pies, oh, he's back.
I'm here. Calm down. I know you guys miss me and everything, but
You weren't here for like half of it.
I'm getting the Ethernet cable tomorrow. All right.
Okay, like
I'm sick and tired of, and the internet started up right when the pandemic and all that. So now everybody at home, because I live in an apartment complex. So now
did your
everybody at
modem
home.
catch coronavirus? I mean, Jesus Christ, you've had this.
I've been to maintenance. All right, like they're fucking idiots. Anyway, I'm getting that Ethernet cable. Hopefully that makes a difference. All right, because I definitely can't use my phone. My phone is a piece of crap, but it does what it needs to do. Every app on here is for business, so
Cheap. I mean,
yes, I am cheap. Yes, I am cheap. I get my clothes from the thrift store, Walmart. All right, I got a car that I'm still driving, first ever car, $1,200. All right, if it needs repairs, it gets repairs. I don't need nothing new. Okay, and
I mean,
that's what I'm talking about. Multiple streams of income. Invest. You don't need to be flashy or present to anybody. Okay.
not yet. Anyway, I think I need that golden that
If your
platinum cross.
if your girl leaves you because you ain't whining and dining her, so be it. It don't matter.
Taco Bell is whining and dining. But yeah,
I ain't even paying for that. Go on.
We were talking about a black enclave. Like, do you think there will be a black resurgence? Because right now, like a lot of black businesses are booming. Like this is a big time where a lot of people, the cultural consciousness.
Do I think there's going to be another Black Wall Street? No, but do I think that black business is going to be booming for quite some time until? I really believe that it's going to get worse before it gets better.
You think so?
And thankfully and hopefully it does, because it will bring us even closer together. I know someone already mentioned that, but
well, what do you think? What do you think will get worse? Like,
we got murder hornets. We got aliens. We do have different dimensions. They're like parallel universes.
Can we talk about like how that was like a Pokemon evolution? Like the killer bee turned into the murder hornet.
Bee drill.
Like
now, my uncle said this: what's going to unite the races is when the little green men come down and start trying to kill everybody. I have to agree with that, because I think that white folks gonna make deal. Have you seen Cosmic Slop? Now, Flood, you're old enough to you probably seen Cosmic Slop. All right, come on. Okay, so in this was an old miniseries, and in this particular episode, aliens came down, and they were talking about taking over and whatnot, and white people were like, "Hey, how about we give you all of our black people?" All right. And there's a segment where there's a bunch of negotiating, and the episode ends when white people just give up black people to the aliens. So
I don't know about that one. I don't think I've seen that one.
Look up Cosmic Slop. Look at up the episode. What's that funkadelic dude?
I think we're more like that Twilight Zone episode where the aliens forced everybody to
That's the thing.
It's
Cosmic Slop is basically a black Twilight Zone.
Oh, it's black. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's all black. So,
and that's another thing. So while we could, the businesses are going to be booming, the entertainment industry is going to be an entirely different beast.
It's going independent.
Well,
Everything's going to be independent.
I'm talking about the major releases. The cultural zeitgeist is still kind of white right now, but with more and more things happening to change the perception, and also more desires to see diversity in what we see, what we consume. I mean, Miles Morales is getting a Spider-Man game. It's lit.
How convenient.
I mean, shit. They needed it. They really did.
Marvel once again.
Not gonna do this with you, Flood. All right.
No,
So,
let's do it. Let's do it because I
this
think
has
we're
been
on the
going
same-
on for 3 hours. It's 3.5 hours. I have to go to
Let's
sleep.
do it.
Okay.
Marvel is
Oh my
Marvel
fucking God.
likes.
We'll do this another time. Damn it. All right. Sheesh. Jesus Christ. It has been.
I'm not saying that DC hasn't done it because DC went through a period, but at least they kind of developed those characters. Marvel is like
DC has not gone through a period.
DC
And I love DC Comics. They have not gone through a period.
DC went through a small period. That's when you
DC's
got the whole. What's that? That I don't know if he's Arabic, but the one Green Lantern dude.
Simon Baz. Yes, Simon Baz is Lebanese. Yes, it's not Arabic. But yeah, he's a good Lantern, I guess. You know, he's got a gun. Like
his story arc was pretty decent.
I actually like his story arc.
And Batwing, I love the original Batwing, the African Batwing.
Luke Fox.
The new one is basically just the new one. The young one is basically Batman Beyond. So I'm like, nah, bring back the OG.
It's Luke Fox the third. Yes,
I can't do that.
There is no period for DC at the moment.
At the moment, I'm talking about there was in the past.
There was no period.
There was a period.
Thank you.
I'm a little more comic booky than you are. And I hate to give DC any credit, but like right in the early 2000s, DC, when it came to like cultural diversity, Steel had came out, Catwoman and Static Shock was all around the same time. As far as like diversity, and Milestone, they came out earlier in the early 90s, but as soon as DC had bought them when they closed down, they kind of tried to push, and that's where Static came about, but like that only lasts for like a couple of years.
That's what I mean.
And and that's why I actually hate DC, because right when I was like coming into my own as a young man, like I held on to Static. Like I held on to Static.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing about Milestone, I understand. I saw the whole episode of actually how everything. They actually sat down with the creators of Milestone.
Yeah, the documentary.
Yeah, and that was kind of tragic what happened. DC was pretty.
Although they actually used old clips from other interviews as well, but I still liked it.
Yeah, they talked about why Milestone fell, and I mean, Dwayne McDuffie. I say that was like a bad move on his part, but honestly, I respect him for standing up for what he believed in.
He was always a radical, so it was to be expected.
Right, and what DC did in response was to cut off Milestone Comics, and that's what led to the death of Milestone. It had nothing to do with us buying the comics, unfortunately.
Right.
So that was pretty shitty. Like I said, that's like, and then now they're still in litigation over like Milestone. They're like, oh, Milestone's gonna make a return, and not really. No,
they've been saying that for years, and
yeah,
the most we've gotten is like cameos in Young Justice.
No, Virgil came back for season 3. They actually were able to secure him, but we can't get.
We're talking about Young Justice.
Yeah, Young Justice season 3.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's not a cameo.
Justice, yeah, I know he's been a character for a while, but in Young Justice, we've had Static, we've had Icon, and we've had Rocket. Rocket has been one of the main characters, and Static has been like, he's there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so they kind of don't have their period. So that's your comic book group. You are a huge supporter. And what's the title of this podcast? I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know.
I have a smear campaign going on for Black people who prefer DC Comics over any comic book publisher. I mean, it's embarrassing to be.
DC is just boring right now.
They are pretty boring. I mean, I haven't read a DC book in like a year. I read.
Well, did you read the Superman battles the KKK or something like that?
I have that book. Oh, look.
I didn't even read that one. No.
Yeah, I like that. I like that comic book. I thought it was decent. It's an adaptation of the radio show or something like that.
Yeah, look, I mean, I haven't read anything.
It's
DC
the closest
yet,
you'll
so.
get to Superman.
After
The
DC,
Superman
like,
you want.
after DC decided, you know what, heroes being happy sucks. They decided to crash the ship and then light it on fire. I was like, DC kind of sucks right now.
DC has always sucked, but it's all good.
Again, I told you why I like DC. Shut up. All right.
You shouldn't, but okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. This has been a very productive podcast and a very long one at that. Great one for a hiatus return.
I've made cameo appearances here and there, so I still want my paycheck.
All right. It was so much fun to be up here with you guys. I appreciate it. I'm tired as hell, but it was absolutely worth it.
Yes. And we hope to have you on some other time. I mean, like, we also do a comic book show sometimes.
Like I said, you need to do more podcasts. I'm giving you ideas every day, and you're like,
not every day,
like every week, once a week. That's a lot for me.
Look, yes, I do, and I'm
about to take the ideas that I give you.
I'm getting back in my groove right now. I'm heavy into developing my game. That'll be for other videos. So right now, all right, let's go ahead and sign off here. This has been Gold Will.
Oh, this has been Electronic Jack. Sorry, a girl was texting me. Electronic Jack, a.k.a. Linwood Storm, a.k.a. the Mac with the facts from Black Grindhouse.
Yeah, check him out on Black Grindhouse, I guess.
Right.
It's a better show. And
me, Duron Flood, the special guest. I guess you can find me at Fitness First 816 on Instagram. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Word.
Got the group too. Got the Blur Core group.
Yes, and my Blur Core group.
Yes, join that on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm always talking comic book stuff. Absolutely. In a pro-black way.
This guy's got a lot of good comic books, and he's also probably got more investing tips than I do on comic books.
Of course I do.
I literally have none.
Right.
Like, the only comics I have are my Saga behind me and all the number ones that my dad has at his house.
Saga is it has a pretty hefty price tag on it nowadays. $200 or $300 book.
Oh, I have the trade paperback, and it's.
Oh God, no, never mind.
Look. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people. I'm terrible at comics. Anyway.
Darren, drop your links, by the way, so I can follow you.
Okay. You can find me on Facebook, my personal page, DERRONFLOOD. That's probably best because I'm super, super, super active on Facebook.
Yep.
So it's DERRONFLOOD.
And now he's gonna smear campaign me, so yay.
Yep. If you guys want to see me smear Trevor, I'll be doing that.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy this. See, I take little sneak shots here and there, but entire smear campaign. Oh, this is beautiful.
I'll tag them in a coon meme in a heartbeat.
Trash. All right, cool. This has been Black Medium. We're signing out now. Later.
Yeah.